Hello, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. Hi, by Grace. How are you? Good to see you, Ruth. Thank you for always being the first to show up. Like, you just make me want to keep going on. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we should be rounding up our Children's Month series. Hi, Risedor 85. Thank you for joining us. So, happy Children's Day, first of all, because we are all children of God, and each and every one of us deserves to be welcomed and, greeted Happy Children's Day. So, it's Happy Children's Day. It's going to be the whole week we shall be celebrating. Thank you. Good to see you too, Ruth. So, today we shall be rounding up our all month long conversation about children. It's just been children's matters all through the month, and it's been amazing. We almost forgot that we're a women's matters group. But what is children? I mean, I can think right on with it. I can see that our one of our guests has joined us today. Today we're having a bumper edition, two guests at the same time, because our conversation is serious. It is serious. It's not what we need. Phenomenal women. So it's no joke. If you're not on this call, go and call your friends, call your besties, call everybody that you love so that they come and join in this conversation. Yes. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, my sister. I got my glasses ready that I was going to come and prepare them on this show. So I came upstairs so that my children will not disturb me. On getting here, and I found out that I left the glasses downstairs. Guys, my house is 3 floors. I just said, you know what? I'm going to go like that. I can't. I just can't. So that was Holy Spirit clipping my wings because the pepper them I wanted to do for you guys today. Chai. But here we are. Good to see you, Kate. How are you
Hi,
doing?
sis. I'm fine, thank you. It's always a pleasure seeing you all pumped up and smiling. Seriously, it can be so,
You
yeah.
can't even imagine the kind of day I've had. Honestly, it's just been one of those days. Yay, Ayo is here as well.
Ah,
Our next guest also here on time. Welcome. I should be coming down. My sister, it's God that is helping us. Let's just leave it like that. The story is a lot. I'm coming from a lot today. I mean, I had to go and vent to Ayo that come and see my a lot. Ayo, hi. Thank you for joining. Oh, yeah, we're waiting for your invite. Have you sent it in? Okay, I've sent it. I'll accept now, and you can join us. Our conversation today is serious, too, but you know how we do things, right? It's always just we just go with the flow.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
this is
Kate.
our women.
Hi,
Our
Brenda.
hi,
Hi,
sis.
everyone.
Hi, Yayo. How are you?
I'm
our women are trying.
excellent.
Coming, see, she's sitting on the road, and she's just like, we've got to do what we've got to do, right? Well
We got to do
done.
what we got to do.
Well done. Thank you so much for joining. I see everybody joining. I mean, this is the hot conversation today, so I'm expecting people to just be I'm just passing by to just stop and join because it is on top burner now. I mean, throughout the month there have been so many incidences of bullying. Some children taking their lives, some children being beat up in school, parents going to fight. All kinds of things have been going on, and we're
Papa
starting to
Sal,
wonder.
I see you. It has become a pandemic. This bullying thing has become a global pandemic.
It is literally a pandemic. It is because
Yeah,
it's almost like every 2 days there's an issue comes out. Every 2 days
Yeah, I'm
something comes out, and
I
then
promise
telling
you.
you.
and it's like what is really going on? And Nigeria cannot be left out. We don't carry last. We have our
Yeah.
own issues. They're coming out as well.
It
So
would
we
have
need to
been
have
nice
this
for us to carry
conversation.
last to this issue,
It
Sha.
is
No,
okay.
no, 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 no. Lie. No.
It
It
would have
doesn't
been
work. Oh.
nice.
We refuse to carry last.
No.
So we started this conversation from our inner room. Let's tell
Yeah,
the people how we got here. Started this conversation from our inner room. One of those days when they had shared one of the viral stories about bullying. We're like, what is this
yeah.
gone stuff? What is it? What do we really need to do? How can we help our children? Because it's beginning to seem as if are we raising children are not resilient. Is it that they cannot take a bit of taunting? I mean, we're all bullied as children. Even though, we cannot even say we are okay. We cannot even begin to pretend that we came out okay. Let's not even
Exactly.
say it. I'm not one of those people that
Yeah.
say that thing. We are
But
not okay.
we're not okay. Oh.
So we know we should just stop it. People will say,
It's
we are bullied
Jesus
as
that is
kids.
making us okay. Jesus made us
It's
okay, but
Jesus.
it's not society.
We got Jesus. No. we're not really, really okay like that. But Jesus is the one that just
Yes,
Exactly.
so
everything. So, what
everybody has that element of madness in him or her. But like
absolutely
I said, Jesus made us okay.
is
So we know
Jesus.
when to put the reins. Yes.
It's just our Jesus that we have to be thinking. So today, let us talk about this, right? I mean, I'll start with Kate because you joined us first. So let's go with you first. Tell us, what do you think about the pandemic that is this bullying? What is really causing it? Is it actually increasing, or is it just that we're getting more reports? What do you really think?
Truth be told, it's I was just discussing with my son. He's been there, but
Yeah.
it's becoming very brazen. It's always been there.
Mm,
Subtly, people have been bullied, and there's so many things our kids or children don't tell their parents.
mm-hmm,
Bullying comes in different degrees. It could be verbal, it could be
mm-hmm.
physical, it could be anyway. So it's been there,
Right.
but it's just like the Gen Z. They are becoming very open with
Yeah.
it, as in like in
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
face.
I'll hook
What
up.
can
Yeah.
you do? Yes. In our time, people will hide to do stuff.
Mm,
They'll say, I'll wait for you in one corner, come and meet me there. But now these
mm,
kids are so open, they video it. They are
mm.
happy to do it in the open. So it's always been there. But like,
Okay.
I was telling them that as the world is evolving, so bullying is evolving too. So it's
Sure.
because it has evolved to a point where, it's in our face. So we're like, what is happening? Has it always been there? Yes, it's been there. It has
Mm.
always been there. But it's just that the way and manner it is being packaged now is not the way it was during our time.
And I
So
don't
yeah.
think we used to
Correct.
die now. Were we dying? We were
No,
not.
Yes, yes. No, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I remember an incident when we were in QC. One
Mm-hmm.
of us who had a cousin who was in Nigerian military school,
Mm-hmm.
and then he offended one of his seniors,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and they stripped him and tied his hands to the shower, right? And just left. You know how cold it is in the
Yeah.
north? And just left the shower. You know, that little water toucher
Oh no.
just dripping on that boy, on his head
Oh
until he
my
died.
God.
They didn't
No.
expect him to die because, and for me, it was very obvious they had been doing it to other boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Obviously, some other boys had survived. Maybe they would get away with maybe having cold or pneummonia or flu or something.
Yeah.
But this boy died.
Oh
Oh
my
oh
This boy
no.
God.
Oh
died. So
no.
these things have been happening. We had it in school when seniors used to tell, well, you see, we were not those seniors, though, Brenda, because I
No.
don't know that I had friends who were psychotic. We weren't. But when they
Mm-mm.
used to tell us to drop, you know that thing? How is not,
Mm-hmm.
you are not just kneeling down,
You're
you are dropping.
dropping with all
Do
your
you
energy on
understand?
your
Yeah.
knees. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. And somehow we also just felt like this is nonsense. So we're not perpetrating this thing. But I feel like some people just feel like it is their God given assignment to
Mm-hmm.
mete out the punishment to others that was meted to them.
I
Yes.
And
know.
it is devilish. Perpetrating cycles of trauma is devilish.
Exactly.
Trauma is
Cycles. Yes.
something that should be stopped. It should be broken. It's like a
Exactly.
curse that should
Yeah.
be stopped.
Exactly.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But
Yes.
some people just feel like they should perpetrate it.
Yes. Do me, I
Exactly.
do
So
you.
yeah, but
And one
it's always
thing,
been there.
it's always been there. And one, it's not just in school settings, or even
Mm.
in the home.
Correct.
It's
Mm.
not just
Yes.
in school settings. We'll say it's in the school. No, even in the homes.
Bullies are made
I've
at
seen
home.
Mm.
seriously, bullies are made at
They are
home.
made
The way and
at
manner
home.
you speak to one another, your son picks it, your daughter picks it up and goes to the school to practice it.
Yeah.
Verbally bullying a fellow classmate.
Yeah.
Do you
Mm.
understand? As a mom, as a dad, he or she watches you raise your hand on each other. Physical
Mm.
abuse. That is bullying.
Mm.
And you can't say
Yeah.
anything. You watch
Yeah.
maybe your uncle or your dad beating your mom and she's cowering in a corner. She doesn't want
Mm.
to talk.
Yeah.
She's being bullied.
Yeah.
So these
Exactly.
kids think that is
Exactly.
the way to do it. Let me tell you. And you see one thing: monkey see, monkey do.
Mm-hmm.
The bullies are
Correct.
not made outside, like Ayo said. They are made in the house,
They're made at home.
either directly or subtly. Seriously, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's the truth. Yeah.
So today we're going to talk to parents from two angles. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
if you are the parent of the bully, what you
Mm-hmm.
should do. Number two, if you are the parent of the bullied,
Ah.
what you should do. You see, because just
Yeah.
now you made a very, very stringent point that bullies are made at home.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never really thought about it that way. I thought about that.
Yes.
So they are just like
No.
that. Whatever you do for them, they
No.
will start to
No.
show up and all that. But you
No.
made it's a very good point, and thinking about it now, and it's really occurring to me that actually they learned this behavior from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's a learned behavior. You see, nobody was created in that way. Nobody was created to be evil. It's not.
Exactly. It's learned behavior. It's
You
learned
know,
behavior. Sometimes it's a defense mechanism, some other
Yes,
times it's a
exactly.
protection mechanism. Okay. So
Exactly.
yeah. So my youngest, I have him right here with me, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to say what I'm going to say in front of him. But he was, he was, he was physically like molested as a very little baby. Brenda, I remember when that happened, when he was like one plus by a nanny that we thought was a good person, and she used to hit him for sports. We found out from the recordings. What that did to him
wow.
was make him aggressive. So
Exactly.
I kind of became the mom of the child who was
Oh,
bullying other people in school.
Other
Did you
absolutely.
people.
get?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yes,
As a
yes.
defensive
Because
mechanism.
if
Yes.
you look at him wrongly, he's coming for you.
Yes.
If you talk to him anyhow, he's coming for you. Like he's not no. You guys are not going to do this to me. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been quite a journey getting him to regulate his emotions, helping him understand that not everybody is coming to attack you, even
Like
though
the
somebody actually
enemy.
did.
Yes.
All right. For
Yes.
some children, when
Yes.
they are bullied like he was, they become victims.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
become nervous, they
They
become
cower.
depressed, they
They
have
yes.
anxiety and all of that.
Anxiety.
In his own case,
Attack.
he fought
Yes.
back.
The guy was
By
like,
the time she did it the
eh?
third time, he gave her back both. So
You
he
know
became
who I
hey
be?
God.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One thing. There's something Ayo said. Bullying is like a two-edged sword. It's both a defense mechanism and an offensive mechanism. So they use it
Yeah.
both ways. They either use it to defend themselves or as an offensive, weapon. So the defense is okay. Let me raise up this wall so that I don't get attacked. You understand? And in that way, the person is building up his or her bullying muscles without knowing it. And then one day it gets to a point where he or she gets the upper hand, like the video we watched, and the girl pushed. You understand? And the bullied pushed the bully, and the
Do you
bully fell down and hit
understand?
her neck. Remember? Yes. So that was the defensive mechanism of bullying.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So when
Yeah.
if God, I'm happy the girl survived it. But let me tell you, nobody would dare bully that girl again. So
Down that girl.
she has learned to use bullying too to defend herself. So, but she needs to be sat down and told that it is not the right way to
No,
defend yourself.
please, I beg you.
Yes, do you understand? So it's a very dicey situation. Telling a child you need to stand up for
It
yourself,
is.
but let there be what's it called? Let there be um
Regulation, control.
regulations, or let there be a point where you know that it is no longer defensive. It's classical act bullying. Do you understand? What
Exactly.
Ayo said is true. My son Chidiogo is a stammerer, right? He
Okay.
was in the boarding house, JS1 to JSS3, and they'll come and say, your son is so quiet. Come and take him home. I will drive to the school. If you see the way I'll be driving there, like Jack and Shan, I'll just go sign the exit, pick him home. Once for he won't talk. Says he won't talk. Are you okay? Yes, mommy, take me back. And I kept, wondering till I found that he was being bullied. So what he did was he started, showing those signs to the younger ones at home. And I'm like, oh, I see. So immediately my nanny said, please, ma, let me bring out Chidi from boarding house. So she said, there's something
Absolutely.
I'm noticing. Brenda, I didn't even waste time. I didn't even ask your brother. I didn't even ask him because he said no. Immediately, I called his school. I said, you know what? Cancel everything. No, whatever is remaining, take it. I don't want to care. And I pulled him out. And like I said, it's been a work in progress. There are days he has bursts, he has outbursts. And there are days you see him containing himself. So you need to continually tell your kids the difference between defending themselves and being an outright bully.
True. I mean, I hear you guys. You have just defined two examples of what happens when a child is bullied, right? See, in the same way, Ayo's child went, aggressive on everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
a normal sweet baby that should have been sweet to the whole world suddenly became aggressive, and everybody's wondering, where did you drop from? We're not like this in this house.
Exactly.
Do you get?
Yeah.
In our house, we're not like this, but you just find that, thank God for CCTV camera and replays
Yeah.
and all of that, and they were able to find out what caused it. And same for your son.
Exactly.
He couldn't even talk, he couldn't even express it, even though he
He
was
couldn't.
older. You see,
Yes.
this one was a baby, this one was even
He
older.
couldn't.
So bullying at any age is really, really terrible.
Yeah.
And I even find that even even with adults, I remember when we were growing up, there was this one of our neighbors that when they were punishing their house helps, you hear things like, it was quite common in those days when you beat somebody and put pepper in her, private.
Yes.
All of those things were just evil,
Is
they're just
Is that
evil.
not
And
witchcraft?
I think I don't
That's
know how, I
that's
don't know how,
classical, seriously.
I don't know how we got there and how we thought it was okay, but it was just evil, So with all of those kind of things, a child watching that kind of thing, they can just grow up and think, it's normal to behave in that way to
Mm-hmm.
people that are,
Mm-hmm.
that you are in authority over or something. So
Yeah.
it's really a lot of what we have to regulate as we are. I mean, one of my coaches
Correct.
always says that once you're a parent, you cannot afford to do anyhow anymore. You
At
can't.
all.
You
At
because
all.
you have people that are literally watching you to
I tell
behave. You
tell you
can't do
whatever
anyhow.
you do, I'm telling you verbatim, whatever you do becomes a building block for them to build their lives.
Absolutely.
Everything you do and say is you're handing them building bricks for their lives. So whatever you do, they pick it and put on the other one, and the environment is a mortar
Absolutely.
for them. So they keep adding and they keep adding. And at the end of the day, you build a house on a faulty foundation. I tell people, everything you do around your children, you're handing them a brick. Every day, an
Yes.
opportunity is given to them to build themselves, and you are the one handing
Absolutely.
them the brick. If you give them a faulty brick, they build a faulty,
A
edifice
40
that they cannot stay,
tower.
that will collapse on them and collapse on somebody else. So, like
Wow.
you said, as a parent, you can't afford to be anyhow. No, it's no longer your life to
Not
live.
at all.
That's the truth. At all. It's no longer your life. You can tell them, I've lived my life, oh, you're living your own. It's a
It's a
lie.
lie.
It's
You know,
not lived your life. You're
no
still living
such
it.
thing.
Yes. No
No
such,
such
there's no,
thing.
there's no,
The same way Jesus laid down his life, that's how we are laying down our lives
no, no,
daily.
no, no.
We're
Yeah.
literally laying it, my sister. The way that
Seriously.
Daily.
the way God dealt with us, is giving us these children that they don't even keep quiet. Some days they say something to me, I'm thinking, who born me to tell my mother this?
Ah,
Like, was I
Tell
on was I
or
on
to think.
drugs? Did I drink? As in to even think it before you not talk it. The way they will look at, as in, the way they will say this is like, but don't you think,
I'm
but
telling you.
and it will make sense. You can't
I'm
even
telling
fault the
But
you.
I
logic of
respect
what they are
it.
saying.
I
Yeah.
respect
To,
it
to an
and I
ex, to an
respect them.
extent, to things. To an
I
extent, to
do.
six.
I
Yeah.
do.
To an
To an,
extent.
to
Because
an extent,
I
six.
feel like our voices were almost taken away from us.
Oh, that's
And
true.
for me, that was a big problem. But interestingly, I grew up in a house where my mom was very vocal, and then she expected us to be vocal. And she used to say in pidgin, she would say, even if your voice they shake, talk. That's
Talk.
don't allow anybody make you feel
Shut you
like
down.
what you know to be true
It's not
cannot be
true. Yeah.
spoken.
Yeah.
Speak it. Speak it. Even if your voice is shaking, even if you are
I
quaking in your
love it.
boots, man up
I
and
love
Mm-hmm.
say
it.
it. I
I
Yeah.
love
love
it.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I was talking to Chuchu, my little boy. That one is, he says the way it is. You either accept it or you don't accept it.
Ah,
Seriously. That
they are
one
like that
I've
too.
never seen. They called him the lawyer. He will give you why you should have said it the way you said it. I'm telling you, this little let me not, before I will beat me.
I
This
will come
little
for you.
pikin,
You know that.
I know you come for me. This little pikin, Brenda, he will tell you, but mommy, please, can you hear me out? Mommy, but
Correct.
the way you said it wasn't right. The way you said it didn't come out right. It might have sounded right, but it's not right. So when you have kids, I'm telling you, if you have kids, I begin to tell you, it might have sounded right, but it didn't come out right. It's time for you to adjust
Check.
yourself. Because
But
like
you're
you
doing
said,
a
it's
good
what you
job. Let me tell you that. You're doing a good job. When you make your home safe enough for your children to be able to express themselves and advocate for themselves,
oh,
you are doing
oh,
something
they do.
right. You are doing
Oh,
something
they
right.
do.
My
Because there
Oh,
are
they,
lots of
seven-year-old told
children who
me the
can't
other
talk.
day.
no, oh,
7-year-old
they
told me
do.
the other day, say,
My kids
Mommy,
do.
Mommy, when you told me to shut up, I said, me, I don't think so. I must have told you to keep quiet or something. I said,
Mm,
no, you
Like,
said shut up.
yeah.
I said, no, it's not like me. I mean, I couldn't have consciously said that
yeah,
because if I did, I'm sorry. Because no, I kept on saying, no, I didn't say that. I said, you said so. I remember
uh-huh.
because this was when we were
Oh,
There you
going.
go.
I just say I'm sorry.
this is something
I
you
didn't
couldn't
It's
have
time to
tried with
say
your
to
parents.
apologize.
at
Yeah,
this point,
Just
exactly.
I
apologize.
didn't know. I didn't know that wasn't what I meant to say, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
The father
Okay,
looked at
now
me,
do
he
you,
looked
do
at
you
the
know
child.
what you've done? Do you know what you've done, Brenda? What you just did is you taught your son to stand up for himself without being disrespectful. And that is what boils down to bullying and being bullied. I tell my kids, stand up for yourself, but make sure
Very
you don't
important.
push yourself in somebody's face. I tell
Make
my
sure you're
children,
respectful.
Yes.
say what you want and what you mean, but in a way that the person you're communicating, with would go back and say, but this boy had some sense.
So
Do not let anybody take your voice.
advocacy,
I tell them, yes,
yeah, advocacy is not rudeness,
no,
disrespect, or offensiveness. It should that you're
Yeah,
advocating for yourself does not give you the right to be
to be rude.
offensive or, like you said, in someone else's face. It's not a
yeah,
license to be rude. You can express yourself, you can speak your truth, you can ask your questions without disrespecting authority, without disrespecting your parents, without disrespecting your peers. It's very
exactly.
important that we teach respect side by
Respect.
side with, advocating for
Picking up.
themselves. It's really, really
Exactly.
important.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
really important
There
because me, I will
was,
not tolerate
yeah.
disrespect. So you will not
Ah,
disrespect me in my house.
no,
I'm
no, no,
sorry.
no.
I
No,
don't even
Don't
no. I
care
would.
you will not.
how much English you want to speak.
There's something that happened to my
You will
younger
not.
brother. My younger brother is a pharmacist now. When he was young, I remember my grand uncle, my dad's uncle, used to
Yeah.
tell us. I remember that he said, if you go out, any person find trouble, come back home. Grandpa Thomas said, if they find your trouble outside, I beg, find that trouble, carry and come home. Don't come back crying, though. So he always said, if you go out and you are playing and anybody does something, do that person
Do
back
your
and
own
come
back.
home. Do
So
your own
that
back. Me,
so
say, I
that
no get liver
brings
now.
us
But my brother,
to today's
hey,
conversation.
my
This
brother
this
Yeah.
became something else. When you see
oh,
area scatter,
mm-hmm.
the day he went out and my younger brother, he couldn't, he beat back. But the moment his teeth found the guy's arm, he
Oh
beat
my
the
days.
hand,
Oh my
beat
days.
the
Oh
cloth,
my
the
days. Oh,
teeth, and then he ran home.
Oh,
oh, oh my
So the
okay, so
days.
this is
strength
part of what
of
we
the
are talking
child,
about
yes,
today, isn't it, Brenda?
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
you
Yes, yes.
understand?
I'm
The
happy you had that example because it will just
yes,
circle us
beat
right
the
back
child
to the
and blood
conversation.
came out and he ran home and ran straight to my grand uncle's house. Watch
Uh-huh.
it, not our house.
He's the one who
So the next thing they
The
came
person
into
that
our
gave him
compound
liver.
yes, it was in the village. So they
Mm.
came, la, la, la. He came out and said, what is happening in my compound? They said, your grandson. He said, what happened to my grandson? I told him to do that.
aha.
And he now said, bring that child, let me go and treat him. The next time you don't hit my grandson like that again. If people are playing, play. But you know what
They
happened afterwards?
will
He came
arrest
home
you
and told my
today.
younger brother.
Oh. Should not try
He
it.
told my younger brother. He told my younger brother, I didn't say bite, I say fight back. Do you understand? Now you don't come out blood for somebody picking body. Now we are going to treat the child. So you see, now he had to sit him down and tell him the difference between being defensive and being offensive.
Correct.
Being
Or overtly
defensive and being
aggressive,
offensive. Yes, he
right?
became
Yes.
overly aggressive and offensive in trying to defend himself, and that
Yes.
didn't go down well. So we should be able to know when to draw the line
Good.
between we tell a child,
But in the
stand up for
heat of the
yourself.
moment, how do you know
That
how
is
to
it.
Tito, you are right. How do you tell somebody where to draw the
Draw
line
the
when they are,
line. When you are
in
giving
the
these
heat of that moment?
instructions, because this is where I wanted us to land. Because we give these instructions all the time to say when they hit you, hit back. When somebody does this, you give it back.
Yeah.
It has been the constant instruction for children when they're
Yes.
bullied. Say, do not take it from anybody. Hit
Mm-hmm.
back, speak back, do everything back. And I now ask, where do we draw the line?
The
Yeah.
Because
line. Yes,
in hitting back is where those two girls found themselves with one person collapse on
I'm
the floor.
telling
Exactly.
you.
It's in hitting back that. So where do we draw the line, and what should we actually tell the children instead? Ayo, please.
So I would say the first thing that we should do, to be honest, somebody steps to you sideways, somebody looks at you some type of way, somebody is offensive with their words, or they even attempt to put hands on you. If you are in a place where you can escalate to your superiors, to a higher authority, to teachers, to whoever represents authority in that place, by all means
Yeah.
do so. Right? Now, if you can't, then I would say before you hit back, there's a way somebody can throw hands and you can catch hands. So
Definitely.
rather than hit back first, catch the hands. That's,
Yes. Prevent
yeah.
prevent
Try
the
and
hitting.
subdue.
Prevent the hitting.
Yes. Try and subdue the person rather than go at the person with slaps, with punches, with whatever. So if you can avoid avoid. And avoid not because you are weak or you are terrified, but because honestly, you know
Exactly.
that the repercussions of you now overpowering that person, like what we saw, are far reaching than collecting one slap. You know,
Yeah.
collecting that one slap is an ego thing, or it's your ego that is bruised.
Could it
But you
be?
Yeah.
go blow person, the person fall, break head.
Could this be
Hello,
why Jesus said we should turn the other cheek?
turn the other
Could it
cheek.
be?
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
possible. Yes,
It's
it's
very
very, very possible.
possible. It's very possible. Because he knows
That's
what
why
the end will be.
involuntary manslaughter exists. It is
Exactly.
involuntary. You didn't plan to do it. You were
Yeah.
provoked. Somebody find your trouble. You defend yourself. Then person pie. How do you? What's the explanation? The point is that you shall still kill somebody.
Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, you will still live with that guilt
Yeah.
forever and ever and
Do
ever
you
and
know what
ever.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the consequences, because you will still go to jail. And I don't think anything is worth your freedom unless maybe you are fighting for the lives of your loved ones or whatever. But if it's an ego thing, right? Please find the least offensive way to extricate yourself from that situation. So escalate to authority, try and subdue, try and contain. Now, if you can't contain the situation, I'm not going to say sit down there and take it, because I would
Stand there and be
never. You see
resilient.
that girl that sat there and took slaps. I am a born again
Ah,
Christian full of the Holy Ghost. I would never, and I would never advise my children
Tell them
no
to
way.
to
take
sit
slaps
Hey,
like
down
that.
to be
and
that
take
docile
abuse.
now. No, no.
Never. I'm sorry.
That is not being, that is
Because
not
if I'm
docility.
wrong,
That is being, I
somebody
don't know
should
the right word
counsel
to
me.
use.
Oh. If I'm
No, no, no.
wrong,
Wait,
somebody
let
should
me tell
counsel me,
you.
but I would never.
No,
Let's go and call
no.
Pastor
See,
Flourish. Pastor Flourish,
Hey,
come
hey,
and hear your
boy,
child.
no, I know Pastor Flourish. Pastor Flourish will beat them, beat their father, and beat their mother. That one, me, I know. You can't step to his
you
child
know,
like that. That I no, no, no. I know my pastor. I know.
Kate,
Maybe it's
Kate,
Apostle Joshua. Tell my will go and call. It's very gentle.
you know
It's the
what?
one
The
who
first
works.
thing is, yeah, we should. One thing that I tell my kids: bullies don't walk alone; they walk in packs.
Correct.
Bullies don't walk alone; they walk in packs. So make sure you are not caught in a place where you have your back,
Yes,
exposed.
please.
Don't. They don't walk
That's a
alone
good one.
because they are cowards. They are cowards.
Yes.
Watch it.
Very true.
They walk in packs. So make sure you're not caught in a place where there's nobody having your
so
back.
the children too should be walking, in twos and
In
threes,
packs too. In
so
You
groups
that
know,
with
you
their
know, what I'm,
friends.
you
yes,
are not
what I'm
alone.
saying
If
is,
you are
yes,
being if you
yes,
are being attacked, somebody else can run for help, even if they cannot take
exactly,
the same.
Yes, there's safety
exactly,
in numbers.
That's
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
That's a
because
good
they
one.
don't walk alone. They walk in packs. Somebody is there, gingering the person, hit her, see how she's doing. And the
Yeah.
more they tell you, they fuel the bully keeps beating.
Hmm.
There are people at the side who are his or her cheerleaders, and you're alone in the ring. But if you have somebody with you, the person can stop it. Why are you doing this? As the person is
Exactly.
talking, the person being bullied gets some emotional support to say, stop it. But look at that girl that was being slapped back, front, up
That
and down.
nobody
There was
could
Oh
nobody
my
touch.
there,
God.
and she just kept quiet, face
Please.
down, and people were there videoing, and you understand what I'm saying. So the first I
Yeah.
tell my kids is make sure you're not in a place where you cannot turn and run. Not running because you're running with your tail in between your legs, because he
Yes,
who
yes.
runs away lives to fight for
Live
Lives
to
to
another
fight
day.
fight another
another
day
day.
Yes.
Yes.
and
So
life.
you're not
Yes.
running because you're a coward. You're running because you need to go and re-strategize. Do you
Hmm.
understand?
So
Like
I
I
love
how
said,
it.
to
can we
either
fix these
escalate it
broken
or
children?
tell your parents. Second,
Because there's, I think about you would have to not really like yourself, right? You would have to dislike yourself to a great degree to want to hurt somebody else so
telling you,
badly.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
because
I'm telling you.
misery by default loves company. And you
Yeah,
just find that all these people who, like, I remember when some girls in my daughter's school were taunting her about her lips. And I told her, I said, Auntie, people are
Maggie.
paying good money to inject
to
their
get it
lips
sleep.
to look like yours.
Ah,
Like
You are a
they
gorgeous
don't know.
girl. Anybody who is talking about your lips honestly wishes that they looked half as good as you look. And I'm not just saying that
exactly.
because I'm your mom. I'm saying it because you are a stunning child. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you're a pretty girl.
Yes,
There's nothing about you that is not fine. So anybody that is jabbing you now really does not like the way they look. And then they
Exactly.
And
just
it's
feel like they want
projecting.
to attack something, and they
They
are
are projecting.
projecting their insecurities and their
On
miseries.
you.
So fine,
Yes.
they've done that. The point is that they are still children. They need to be fixed. Because you see, carrying this kind of horrid behavior into adulthood is
It's not okay.
what resulted in this boy that got killed over the weekend, that they said he stole a phone in school, and they beat him from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning till he
When
died.
was that? I didn't
I
hear that one.
mean,
No.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
hearing that one for
Brenda.
the first time. God
Okay.
have mercy.
It's everywhere. Some Ajayi
Ah,
Crowther or something university.
oh my
They,
God.
He stole
they
a
found the
phone.
phone with the boy. Instead of them to call the police or hand him
Call
over to campus
police.
security,
Report to
some
authorities. This
boys,
one is big.
they stripped him, they shaved his hair, beat him from 10 a.m.
No.
until he
Oh
died.
my
So this is what
God.
happens when we don't address situations. And that's the thing you were talking about them in
On a
parks,
phone. How
because
much is
this
phone?
How
yes,
much
how
is
much is
phone?
phone?
How much is
And then
phone?
the point is that they saw the phone. Not be say it don't sell them.
You
The
don't
phone the
exactly.
phone
Has
day
been
with the boy.
retrieved.
So what's the problem?
Ah. No,
Oh
no, no,
So
God.
no,
this thing
no,
where
no.
we prize things over human beings, where there's no respect, no dignity for human life.
Exactly.
I have something to say here, right? Okay, so we know that these children are evil, in quotes. I mean,
Right.
we will not say it's their fault, right? Because they learned it. It's a learned behavior. We've established that. I have a real problem with the children that are bystanders.
Good.
The
Good.
bystanders. And this is what I tell my children every day. You can
Yeah.
never be in a place where evil is happening and keep
Yes.
quiet.
Quiet.
Because
And be quiet.
evil only persists when the good people say nothing.
Yes.
You,
Exactly.
Thrives in
you
secrecy
must,
and
if,
silence. Those two
oh
things.
my goodness,
Yes.
if you cannot say it out, run to go and say it to a teacher. You
Exactly.
Correct.
must not be in a place where something like that happened and you did
And you
Yeah.
nothing.
keep quiet or
Ah,
turn
And
a
keep
blind
quiet.
eye.
I
you are
think they are
even more
worse.
evil
So if
than
you
the
ask
person that
me,
did it. Yes, you are
Yes,
even more
they
evil
are.
than the person
They
that is
are.
beaten.
But I told you, I said that's why they walk in parks. These are a group of people
I
having the
concur.
same mindset, the same disposition about life. Yes. So when they see you doing something wrong, it doesn't mean anything to them. Do you
Ah, no.
understand? So that's why we have to be deliberate in telling our kids to choose their friends wisely and back them up with prayers. Seriously. Choose your friends wisely and back them up with prayers. Because I keep telling my kids, your circle determines your cycle in life. Your
Correct.
circle determines your cycle in life. If you keep bullies around you, you become a bully for life. That's the
Correct.
truth. And
Even
if you keep
communication
people,
corrupts
I'm
good
telling you,
manners. That's Bible.
so you can't have people that
Standard.
say what you did was good and nobody tells you, no, don't do that next
Yeah.
time. Do you
I
understand? Even
Yeah.
if it's one person, even if it's one person,
yes.
that you're gonna have a rethink. Do you understand? So the people our kids surround themselves with also matters. So the way
Yes.
I do, I'm sorry, all my kids' friends, I know their household, I know their parents. Oh. I'm that I'm that
Important.
I'm that nosy.
It's
I'm that
important
nosy.
so
I'm
I
that
the
nosy.
gold
Important.
standard.
I'm that nosy. So we know ourselves. The time my son's friend was traveling out to relocating, he was going to school. So I said, you want to get a gift? I drove him to where he got gifts for the friend, and I said, let me take it. It was far. Brenda, I drove. The father was like I said, Oga, I need to know who my
We need to know
friends.
who is in
I
our
went to
My
lives.
their
son's
house.
friend.
I
Yeah.
sat down, allowed my son to go stay with his friend. 30 minutes. I told him you have 45 minutes. When I said it's done. The parents are looking at me like this woman. I said yes. I want to set boundaries. This boy should be able to know this is the right thing. And I told the dad, this is what we're going to do. The dad gave him money to buy gifts for this boy. So you know who your
Your
children's friends
children's
are.
friends
Even
are
in school,
correct.
in school. When Chidi was in primary school, I keep using Chidi because my son is a very quiet boy. Forget all that. He's a very quiet boy.
That's your
He's
first, right?
yes,
The one that we are
very quiet.
dragging.
Yes,
We're all, we're all
very
dragging.
Dragging the poor boy.
very quiet. Do you know that? And of late, I told him, I exposed him. I said, no more following school bus. That is how I am. You have to come up with public transport. I know what I'm doing. I don't want
Wow.
to train kids who are so mushy mushy. Yes. Chidi, some days don't enter school bus. I give him money, do Uber, or you enter the bus, enter public transport. The first day, my heart was in my throat. He came back second day, and now he does it effortlessly. He came and said, "Mommy, I saw somebody in the bus, and he didn't have enough transport
I
fare,
give
so I paid for
him my
him.
own.
Yes.
He said I
I love it.
paid for him. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, but he said there's something I did. I'm like, he said, when he asked me for my phone number, I gave him a wrong number.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
At least
Then
he
he
had
came
But
sense.
home.
just next time, just say
Just
no.
say no.
Sorry.
No,
No,
That's
no,
yes.
all.
yes. He
No.
now came home
Mm.
and felt so guilty. He said, I feel as if I did something. I said, yes, you did something wrong. What do you do? He said, Mommy, give me your phone. He said, I remember the number I gave the guy. So he sent an SMS to the wrong number and said, excuse me, sir, please, if somebody calls you to thank you for paying his transport fare, I'm the one. I'm telling you, I'll share the message with you guys. I'm
You're
the
so
one.
priceless.
And I said, I'm the one. I didn't want to. I just lied and gave him your number. So please redirect him to my mom's number. Do you
Oh,
understand? Yes. So I tell him, the people around you helps you.
Yeah.
They either help you or they kill you. That's the
Mm.
truth. So our kids, the environment they find themselves matters.
I
Even if
love
it's in
it.
school, who is your friend in school? Yes. Then in primary, there was this particular girl. Oh my God, she in grade 6, so she was already writing love note to my son.
Ah,
And yeah, I still have it
no
today.
baton.
She wrote and said, he said, Chidi, I love you so much. You know, you're very handsome. When
Well,
I come to
Chidi
Wow.
is
class,
actually very handsome, but
I mean,
he
she
said, when I
aligned.
come to class, I don't pay attention. Eh?
Ah,
but
I saw
primary
this thing,
school.
oh. I collected it. You know
we
me
have
now. I
to
went
we
to
have
their
to know her
school.
mother, please.
I
Who
went
is the mother?
to their school. I called the school, the proprietress, Madam Fumilayo. Who is this woman? They brought out the girl. Cute, beautiful girl. She
Oh,
is gorgeous. I'm not lying. She's beautiful.
how
I
did
told them, you
Peter
know
to
what?
know about these things?
Separate her from my son.
Biko, change
Seriously.
class.
They now say that anywhere she is, the girl will go there.
Is there?
If they're going for swimming, she wants to go for swimming. Taekwondo, and I told them, no, separate them. And I made sure they said, because I knew what that could lead to. That's what we should do as parents concerning this bullying. You know, you might not know that even the message they send to themselves, a boy telling a girl, go and hang yourself, but you think he's playing. No, that's
Yeah.
bullying.
Yeah.
That's
No, no, no.
bullying.
Children have committed suicide from messages like
Yeah,
that.
Go and hang
absolutely.
Absolutely.
yourself. Someone say, I feel like dying. What do you want me to do? I should
Mm.
give you poison to die. But to them, they are
All
catching
those
cruise.
unkind
But you
words.
are
Yes.
you are killing
Yes.
someone, gently. That girl that was slapped like that, believe you me, they had already emotionally killed her before that slapping.
Absolutely.
For her
That was
to
why
Absolutely.
stay
that's
and
why she was
receive.
defenseless. They would
He
have
was so
told her things that
detached.
yes,
It was
seriously. So
almost like they were slapping somebody
I'm
else.
telling
Maybe
you,
they've been slapping.
she
Maybe they
was
slapped
she
that
was
girl at
not there.
home.
She
You
was not
guys,
there.
maybe she receives slaps like this at home. Yeah,
I
and
hope not so
I
she
for
has
hope
her
not.
sake.
learned how to remove herself from the
Yeah.
situation.
From the
Yeah,
Just
because she
situation
was so
because
detached.
she was not
switch off.
there. She wasn't
Yeah.
there. She wasn't there. So before a bully hits you, he would have degraded you emotionally. Yes.
So
The
there are
person would have
signs. These things,
yes.
children who are being bullied, there are always signs.
Yeah.
So maybe we want to discuss the things to look out for
Look out
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
and how we can help
Then
our
we now
children.
go on to
You
how we
know,
can help our
yeah,
children. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
When,
because
yeah.
even
Yeah.
adults that are being bullied, there are
There
signs.
are signs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There are signs. When a child that was not bedwetting begins to bedwet.
Mm,
When you have a child who was a good eater begins to picky eat.
exactly. Yeah.
When a child
When you
that
have a child
loves
that was
school
very
doesn't
yes
want to
and
go
begins
to
to say I
school,
don't
They
want to
don't
go
want
to
to go to
school.
school. Who is in
Yes.
that school that
Who
is
is in that
tormenting
school
them?
that is making them uncomfortable?
Mm,
You understand?
yeah.
So these are telltale signs that you need to look out for. Another thing is inflicted
Harming.
injury. They either peel their fingers, you understand, or they are biting their fingernails, or
Or
they
they
are twisting
cut,
their hair. They
pulling their
twist
hair.
and twist till it pulls. When you begin to see
Yeah.
patches in your child's hair, just look out. You will see it. The child becomes withdrawn, doesn't join in family,
Yeah.
gatherings anymore. When you go
Anxious
out, he keeps to himself.
attachment,
Exactly.
depression,
Yes. Or
silence, all those
silence,
things.
or becomes too attached to you as a parent.
Yes.
Don't just brush it and say he loves me. No, he's trying to
Yeah. Yes.
communicate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
That
trying to
overt
communicate.
clinginess.
Yes.
Yes. It's anxious attachment. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So anxiety can be presented in so many ways, not eating well
Yeah.
or overeating,
Eating.
binge
Yes.
eating.
That's the thing too.
binge eating.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Not sleeping on time and all that. So these are telltale signs we should look out for as parents. Don't just get so overly concerned with providing for them that you're not providing for them emotionally.
Yes,
And
we
emotion.
can't be oblivious, and
Thank
then we
you.
can't
That's
be
the right word.
dismissing. You
Yes.
know this thing of when we say all these children of nowadays they are weak.
No.
You know they don't have spine.
You
Um,
envelope
or you
statement.
are,
No.
or one parent will say to the other, you are the cause. You are spoiling the child. You are mollycoddling the
Right
child.
there.
Yeah.
Their
Mm. You know.
their
So,
well-being, their well-being must be prioritized.
yeah. Yeah.
Our well-being was not
At
prioritized.
all. So we should do better.
Honestly,
True.
We should do
yeah,
better.
we were victims that were treated like criminals. You know, it's true. See, I was in a meeting one day. I was invited to lead worship. It was a closed meeting of women, and a closed meeting of women who had been molested, sexually molested, and raped and whatnot. And in a room full of over 20 women, there were only two of us that had not been raped. Everybody there had been molested in some way, including me, touched inappropriately and all of that. But there were only two of us that actually had not been raped. And the majority were treated like criminals
Yeah.
when they were much
When they
younger
reported.
because you don't spoil now. For person to touch you, now you don't spoil. If you
Exactly.
don't spoil,
How the person go
meanwhile you are the
touch
victim,
you.
5-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 13-year-old. You know,
And
My God.
it's
your first
unconscionable.
thought is that the
You
person is
can.
spoiled.
So we can't be those adults. I'm not even saying those parents. So I'm even talking to people who are not parents now.
Anybody
You
around
cannot
you.
be the adults that a child who has been victimized is now then being vilified and
Thank
treated like
you.
they are the perpetrator or they are the
Yes.
molester or they are the criminal.
Yeah.
It must not happen on our watch.
Mm-mm.
Children should be protected.
That's
You know, their safety, their well-being, physical, emotional, and spiritual
it's
should be
our
of
job.
utmost priority.
There's no
That is
It's
the
reason
really
most
why God
important.
important.
didn't
Yeah.
drop children from the sky, right?
Exactly.
Even when his own son Jesus, his son that had been there from the beginning,
Mm,
wanted to come to the earth,
mm.
he didn't just
You
land the earth and just
follow
take over.
process.
Yes, now.
You
Mm.
know, he came he followed
I really
process.
follow
He
process.
literally
So
came in
correct
as a
process.
baby into a
Yes.
family because that's
Yeah.
what it was designed
Yeah,
to be.
yeah,
There's a reason. And he showed us that even with his own son, they did not skip the process.
yeah,
So
Exactly.
we
That's
must
yes.
take it seriously. The children that are brought to
Yes.
us, the children
yeah.
are a gift from God.
Are you kidding me?
You
A
know,
gift,
Honestly,
a gift that will either make a way for you or close your way. I tell people that will either make a way for you or close your way. And my I tell them say the day where they did, now you go find them, come go. They were there
so you know, my
lounging,
aunt,
living
I
the
have an
soft girl
I
and
have an
soft boy,
aunt.
life. You now go
This
carry
thing you
them.
said, this thing you said, Kate,
Yeah?
made me laugh. I have an aunt. She has only one child, and it took her like 7 years before she had the child. So those days
mm,
when we go out and she just sees, you know how I won't even call the tribe. How you see some women, with children, and the children are just walking their own. The mother is walking their own, and she's like, "Ha!" He said, "Pikin no had this one."
I tell
mm,
That
you,
was always
I
her
tell
statement. Say,
you,
"Ah,
you know how
Pikin
that
no had this person." He
mm.
said,
if
"Is
you had
it
that
me that you now see
man,
my child
they
How?
on one side of the
they
road, me and mother
I'm
say,
After
telling
how?"
7
you,
years.
I'm just
How?
my dear.
You
Do you
know,
understand?
that thing
Yeah,
No
always
hard
made me
down.
laugh. It
You
always
know,
made me laugh.
but that's the truth. But and let me tell you one thing, and Ayo. The truth, it just takes a pinch of salt, right? To turn a tasteless food into a sumptuous
Right.
meal. We might be few, but let's start being deliberate in raising intentional children. The
absolutely.
Bible said the children God gave us are for
Yeah,
what?
for
Signs and wonders.
signs and
Yeah,
So
wonders.
the
wonders.
Yeah,
signs is to tell these guys that you can actually be a good person without hurting somebody. That's the
that's
truth.
right. Of course.
So if we are intentional in raising our kids and telling them what needs to be done in a godly way and begin to see, I used to tell my kids, I will talk. Oh, one day people say, Kai, this woman talks about addition, they talk sense.
Mm,
I have to tell them. I tell myself, say, I will talk. And I don't go keep quiet.
Yes,
Oh, I will talk.
we
I
have to
will
keep
talk,
talking.
talk.
but it
Yes.
is our responsibility
See,
because
do you
you are their
understand?
first
Yeah.
teacher. their first mentor, their first
I'm
example,
telling you,
and not just first. You ought to remain so throughout their lives, at
lifetime.
least
Yeah.
until they come of age, and then
Yes.
they can get off on their own and do whatever they need to do. So we can't be the examples of ungodliness. We can't be the examples of
Exactly.
unrighteousness. We
Exactly.
can't be the examples of anger. We just can't be negative
Offendlessness.
examples.
Can't be
Yes.
No, we
offendless.
can't.
We can.
Exactly. We
There's no
can't.
excuse. There's no
We
excuse
really
at all.
can't. We
But
really can't.
there's something I want to ask Brenda. Now we've talked about kids bullying kids. What about adults bullying kids? Adults
I think it makes it
bullying
easier
kids.
for me. It's dicey when it's a child bullying another child, because you feel,
But
That,
okay, this is a child, they don't know
yeah,
better. You can't do
yeah,
what? An
yeah.
adult, I will take you out.
I'm telling you,
I'm
an
sorry, like,
adult bullying
no,
a
I'm taking
child.
you
that's
out.
the example I wanted to bring next. So imagine a child of mine that loves school, now gets to school one day and she's shaking at the back of the car. And I'm confused, like, there are
What
What
some
happened?
children
happened?
that that don't like school. You have the ones
Yes.
that like,
Mm.
the one that doesn't like school, she wakes up in the morning and say, I don't feel like going to school, I have stomach ache. You say, enter the car,
Uh,
my friend, because you are okay.
That stomach is as old as time.
Those ones ahead. But the ones that always they wake up sprightly every morning, they are
mhm.
ready without being woken up and everything, and then you look at
Yes.
this one and be crying. I packed cow. I said,
Yes.
what's going
Hmm.
on?
Yes. So. Yes. So.
Nothing. I said, no, it's not nothing. What is happening? Nothing.
What is it?
I parked properly. Normally we just drop off Abby and try jump down. I
No.
said, no. I moved on to the parking lot and I parked car. I sat down there. It took us 10 minutes before she opened her mouth.
Opened
She
up.
kept quiet,
Hmm.
I kept quiet. I said, I will be here until you can speak.
Hmm.
Good.
After heaving,
Oh.
finally said,
Oh.
he's one teacher. I said, teacher,
Eh?
in
Yeah.
this school,
You
See
should have
when
talked
waiting.
I'm
since
not,
morning.
See waiting.
when I'm still alive, I think I was senior. I thought it was a child. Teacher,
Mm.
I
Teacher.
say, let's go.
Uh-uh.
Let's just be going.
There's no
I said,
need.
okay, what
No.
happened? I said, okay, what happened? She now told me. I said, are you sure? You sure something, you're not missing one part of the story? Say, yes, because you said
Yes.
in my head, it don't make sense. The child was talking in class. They have a study period, and child was talking.
Hmm.
And after teacher said, everybody be quiet.
Mm.
So she just said to somebody, please pass me your script. Because she wanted to compare her script. She's that kind
And that
of
was just
child.
it.
That's the teacher said, you're talking when I said you should not talk. Oh, yeah, stand up. She stood up. Next thing, took her to go and wash toilet. 3 days toilet. Hello?
For what?
Kilagbe
Wait.
Kileju.
How many
Do you
days?
understand? Three
3
whole
days.
days.
No.
She did not steal.
No.
She did not
No,
kill.
no, 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 no,
She
no,
did not
no, no,
lie.
no, no,
She
no.
did not punish.
No.
She was not
No.
rude to teacher. That's
No.
all. I had to ask
Transferred
my child 4 times.
aggression.
I said, maybe you have forgotten some part of the story. Are you sure this is what happened? I said, because I'm going there. Say, no.
Uh-huh.
I said, no problem. Meanwhile, this thing had passed like for some days before it happened. I finally got to teacher. Teacher was like, "No, she's not
Mm?
even one of those that disturb in my class.
Uh-huh.
I can't even
Uh-huh.
recall that kind of thing happening. If it was there's some children you
Three
call their
days, you
name now.
cannot recall. Now you have
He
amnesia.
said, there's some
Wow.
children you call their name now. Say yes, I'm sure it's that child. He said, but this one, no, 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 no. She's not one of them. I said, that's exactly why I'm here, ma. You say if it was one
Mm.
of my children that disturbs, I'll be able to be begging the child. Say,
You will
well,
come with humility.
yeah, hey, like, excuse me, ma, what did we really do? But you see, this one, I'm here because she's not that type.
Exactly.
Teacher now said, well, like, I can't really remember. I said, well, maybe we should ask the child. Perhaps we should call her.
Mm.
So I said, okay,
Exactly.
Mm.
they're writing tests right now. I said, I'll be back in the afternoon. We used to be here, ma. I
Mhm.
Good.
said, yes. I
Mm.
said, I'll be back. So I came back in the afternoon. I saw my children. They were like, ah. She just said, Mommy, the teacher called me. I was asking me the story. I said, did you remind her? I said, oh, I did remind her. She was like, oh, she
Very
remembered.
good.
Okay, very good that she remembers because
Good.
me, I said, I'm coming
Mm.
back. So I came back. They called the child. All of us we sat down together, and she said, "Okay, oh ma, I really remember what happened. But it's not really us that gives the punishment. We give the children to the
Ah,
cleaners.
It's who?
Cleaners
are
now
you
give
kidding me?
punishment." I'm like, I don't
I'm
understand.
sorry. Wait, wait,
You
wait,
hand
wait,
my
Brenda.
child
Stop
to
it. Stop
cleaner.
it.
I was like,
Stop
wait,
it.
wait,
Stop
wait,
it.
wait.
Stop it.
Is this
Stop
the
it.
school
Stop
rule?
it.
Let me
Are
know
you
whether it's the
kidding
school
me?
rule I should
How?
be going
Is
to.
a
I said, wait.
cleaner you give my child to give punishment?
I said, wait, is this a school rule? Let me know that it's principal I should be seeing right now because at this point I'm not understanding. You must apologize. Apologize to the child, apologize to
Of
me.
course now.
Because when I told my child, I said, you too, you watched toilet the first day, the second day, the third day. Like,
And
how
you,
Are
can
you
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 being
think that
shocked?
complete the
you
punishment without speaking?
um
Like, you are too gentle, oh. Like, who born you? So, I said this to say that as parents, how do we react? And see, I'm not all for saying that you should jump in situations. You should always. I
Yeah.
mean, it's good to let children actually solve their problem. Because
Leave
that's why
them here.
I had to have the conversation with her. That how did you
Yeah.
get to do 3 whole days
3 days.
Of
without,
toilet washing, and you didn't
escalating?
talk.
You didn't talk to your tutor. You didn't talk to anybody. You didn't talk to me. You didn't talk to anybody. You finished working on the 3 whole days. Then you now started fearing the woman and decided not to go to school
But
again.
you know,
I'm like,
it also tells you that it wasn't even over after the third day. Because had she been treating your daughter normally and kindly
She
as
would
per before that
she
incident,
wouldn't have been
I
feeling
think
that
she would
way.
have been okay. It's very clear that she carried. So you know what's irritating me is the fact that after you behave like a witch, you now have the temerity to say that you have
can't
amnesia.
remember. I said the woman was looking at me like, I said, I'll be back, man, when you have remembered. Hey, you think I'm going to
She
leave you like this?
remembered. She remembered, but she
Of
didn't know
course,
you would come for her.
she didn't think she
She
would
did.
come. Yes.
She didn't know you
Yeah, she
would
didn't think
come.
so.
And
When I
was
didn't
there
Yeah.
was
call
a
her on the
day.
phone, I didn't
Yes,
give her
I
warning.
understand.
I didn't call
Good.
her, I didn't give her warning. I showed up
No,
in school and I said,
You
I'm
just
going to
showed
start
up.
for the
yes,
Correct.
person. I'm going to
that's
start person. They called
how.
her for
No,
me. So she
you
didn't have
did
a
the
chance
right
to
thing.
prepare. She didn't have a chance to
Exactly.
prepare a
Yeah.
statement. You see?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you took her on unawares. That's why she went
Mm,
blank. You understand? Like you said, at times, allow them solve the problem. Know when to step
yeah.
back and when to step in. So that you don't become, no, she was always here. She's always here. At times, oh boy, sort yourself out, but make sure you do it in the right way. If it needs you to be there, you'll be there.
Yeah.
There was a day I came back from work after talking for how many hours, talking to these pilots that will be making my head turn on his own. I get home. And then my son, a call comes in. I say, who is it? I said, Mommy, it's me. He used his guidance number to call me. What is it that they were writing an exam? So because he's also a slow writer, so he was writing the answers on a piece of paper, the alphabets. Then use it to shade. You know this one they shade and submit. The next
Okay.
woman said, you've taken expo. Said, Ma, this is my
Ah,
handwriting. She took it and reported my son to the principal, who did not ask questions and told Chidi to submit. So he said,
ah.
Mommy, I have failed. I'm like, no, what happened? I said, you know what? Wait for me. I'm coming. He thought I was joking. Brenda, I entered my car. Before you could say Jack, I was in school.
You're
You
there.
have,
I parked. I parked. I said, Chidi, I'm outside. He came and said, Mommy, please calm down. I said, don't tell me to calm down. Let me sort
No, don't
this.
tell me to calm
First
down.
thing first, Chidi, were you
eh,
cheating? I'm that
let's be
mad.
clear.
Yes.
Were you cheating? He
Mm,
said, Mommy, no. I told him, remember I told you, get you right by God, you get you right by man. If I
correct.
don't see God saw you. Did you
Correct.
cheat? Say, Mommy, I didn't cheat. Did you cheat? Then Leslie said,
Because
Mommy, I
if
said,
you
don't
if
mommy
you
me.
if you don't know it, it's better to fail honorably.
Yes,
Paying
I will
it
not punish you.
honorably.
I won't
honorably.
punish
Exactly.
you for that
Did you
failing
cheat?
than to come and
The
be
Exactly.
mom can
making
ask
the
my
shame
friends.
of the mother of
Yes.
a kid.
I called the friends. I called, I said, come. What happened? He said, no, he did not. I called 2, 3 people. Immediately, I called the principal. I said, I'm outside. This is Chidi's mom. I said, I'm Bimbo. I said, I'm outside. This is what happened. He said, really? They didn't tell me that. You
Eh?
did not ask. They told you.
Wait, stop it. Is this not the same principal?
That they submitted the
That
report
I'm
to.
telling
Hey,
you.
we need to
Do you
talk
know,
about these schools though. We
as we
need to
were,
talk about these schools.
I'm telling you, as we were talking, she didn't say, Mommy, see the teacher. Immediately I said, excuse me, ma. Good afternoon, ma. How are you? She said,
I
fine. I
think
said,
God
oh,
of before now they slow. God of nowadays
ah,
now sharp
no, no,
sharp.
no. And now she was with a group of teachers. Said, ma, how are you? Said, fine. How was today? Said, I know you might be surprised. This is my son. Immediately her face changed. Can you tell me what happened in the exam hall? It's not. I said, ma, please just tell me, did you catch my son
Stick to the
cheating or not?
facts.
He said, I saw your paper. Did you cross-check the paper that was written on his handwriting? She did not. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you do that to my son? Do you know what
So you
that is
caused
called?
him
You're
shame.
emotionally killing this
Honestly.
Yes,
child.
you
The other
caused him shame.
teacher now kept quiet. I said, I'm going to take this to the woman that owns the school. Oh.
Mm,
DPA is not a small school. I'm going to call Mrs. Doragos and I will tell her. She now said, I said, no, don't mar me. Don't mar me. Don't mar me. Immediately the principal now came, madam, how are you? Please, we are sorry. We'll look into it. I said, he's not looking into it.
Not
I don't want it
looking.
happening next time. The same thing when he was in boarding house, the housemaster said he was talking to Chidi and he did not respond on time and he slapped my son.
What? Ah, you say
Ayo,
what?
Brenda,
house
you
master
Anybody?
slapped my son that he was not responding, knowing
Wait,
that this boy is a
wait, wait,
camera.
wait,
and
wait.
he's
Come,
a
you are talking too fast.
camera.
Wait, you are talking too fast. I don't even want to know whether it's not stammering, is fluid. The child was not rude. The
He wasn't.
child had
He
not
just
opened
didn't
their
answer.
mouth to talk.
Yes. And
Old,
then I
old
asked him,
baleti.
oh, Balletio, he 40.
Ah,
What is that?
No.
He 40. And now
Ah,
I said that he now looked at him somehow. Like, how did he look
somehow.
at you?
Define somehow,
Oh,
sir.
Brenda, I told the father was eating smell. I said, no.
Now,
This
now then
came.
they
I
say
did not
my husband.
I did
That
not
man don't
vomit
die.
him. Oh. I didn't vomit him.
He
I
don't
went
die.
through labor pains. Labor pains. I went to the school. I called him. I said, sir, this is what happened. How dare you lay your hands on a child? Not just because it's my child. It is against every ethical
Assault. That's
standard.
assault. So he can actually be arrested, you know?
I
Yeah.
told him, why did you do this? I called the principal. The principal was telling me, Mark, please, I told you, and it was around that time that they had this, what's that boy that died in that school that they bullied? Oh,
In
God.
Dowen.
Oh,
In
the
Dowen.
Dowen College
Sylvester.
boy.
In Dowen College boy.
Oromoni.
Oh, yes.
Sylvester.
I told the man, I'm due
Sylvester.
to
Bless
escalate
his
this.
soul.
He said, ma, please. Do you know what happened? They investigated and told the man to apologize to my
What
son.
are they
And that I gave it to them.
investigating? What are they
Did he or did he not
Exactly. I
investigating?
said,
slap
what's
him? I'm not
investigating?
understanding.
But for the time that you raise your hand on a child that is kept under you
It
to
doesn't
take care of,
even matter
is
what the boy
wrong.
did or said.
It's wrong.
Did you see?
It is
There are
very wrong.
punishments, there
See,
are rules and there are
So
punishments. And
can you
slap
see
is
where
not one of
that
them.
there are many layers? Can you see that there are several
exactly.
layers to this problem?
Yes.
Seriously. So I told and I called him. I said this should be the first and the last. He had to apologize. I think he even didn't to write officially to
Brenda, someone
apologize. He
has
went
a
to my
question.
Yes. Once she rounds up her
Go
point, you will take my
Okay, go
question
ahead,
from
Faith.
there.
so
Okay,
for the time that I went to the school, they already know that I won't take it. But
Hmm.
I tell
yeah.
my children, make sure you don't do the wrong thing. So
Yes.
they don't come there and make a fool of myself.
Let's not
Yeah.
happen
That's it too.
to help you.
Let's not
My
happen
mother,
to help
my mother
you.
did that to me. I call my
Eh,
mother that somebody is looking for my job. My mother said, "What did you do? What did you
exactly.
do?" He said,
Coconut
"See,
Just
head, they
stand.
he
don't
said,
know
you,
you.
I know you. Say if it was your
Yeah.
sister now, I would be coming there. But you, just
No.
tell me,
You
what did you do?"
understand?
What did you
Yes.
do?
I said, me,
He got to that. I told them,
no.
make sure you do the right thing. So that when I'm defending you with my full chest, as I know
Mm,
go look back. But if
yeah.
you do wrong, oh boy, I go come school to disgrace you.
No,
When
but
my
even
kids,
when they do wrong, do you see the
yes,
punishments or
It
the
has to
repercussion
match the
much?
crime.
It's much
it has to be
the
balanced.
offense.
It has
Because
to be
Do
okay,
you
my
balanced.
child was
understand?
talking during silent period. I understand, but it wants to watch toilet for 3 days.
Now,
What
3 days.
is that?
Haba now. Haba.
who know they do
After
wrong? We know
it's
they do
wrong.
wrong. We do wrong sometimes.
Attire. So we at times as we parents, we should be able to know when to stand up for our
Yeah,
children.
yeah,
And
yeah,
stand up, as in gidigba. Don't even look back.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah.
understand? They can call you the mad woman, the mad black woman. Abby?
Mm-hmm.
Abby
No,
the
so
mad black
so
mad
the thing
woman.
about it is that once I stand up, I don't shout. You see, we don't go
Correct.
shouting. We
No.
go
Mm,
classy.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they taught me that
I
thing
saw.
when I finished secondary school. My parents moved to Benin City. As we moved to Benin, it was a culture shock for me from Lagos to Benin. I did not expect. You know how Benin people are like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of
Your
loudness and
face.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be in the bus. You know how you be in the bus and you don't have the right change, and conductor say enter with your change. You know that kind of thing. They're expecting maybe you can
Mm,
join with somebody. Conductor will
mm.
just start to abuse you. Before you know, they've called you a shower. You know those kind of things. And you're like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Do you understand? It went from 0 to 100 really quickly. So a friend of mine now told me that don't worry, that the rule is this: don't ever engage with them in pidgin. Do you see?
Correct.
So once they start, you go higher. Go in Queen's English. Like, I don't understand. What did I say to you? He cannot sustain the conversation. If you ask,
Exactly.
if he says you they mad, you ask them back, you they mad, before you know they call you a shower. Do you
You
see?
have entered the gutter
Do
together.
you understand? See, but if you go
Mm,
like, what are you talking about? Did I do anything to you? Did I offend you? Why are you
correct.
raising your voice? He will immediately go to yes. So I'm sorry, ma. Do you get?
Yes. Yeah.
When she told me it was a game changer for my boss
But
entering
you should have
Benin,
Yes.
known that now. We're Mrs. Marino's girls. That's
I
how we were trained, girl.
I thought that they don't understand the English. So that's the point. They shouldn't be able to understand.
Yeah, it's true. Like that's as go classy, but make sure you stand your ground.
Absolutely,
Know
Yes.
when to go all the
absolutely,
hog and when to pull back.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
absolutely.
So that your child doesn't feel she will always be there.
Yeah.
She will always be there.
Mm.
It got to a point that my kids will come and tell me, Mom, this is what happened in school, and they'll go, please don't call them. Mommy, please don't call them.
Because mommy
Yes.
will go
Because I
and scatter
tell them,
everywhere.
yes, don't mommy, please don't call. It's okay, I can sort it out myself. And I like that.
Good.
I
As
like
long
that.
as
So
you can. Good.
yes. Chituma said, Mommy, please don't call Miss Ogunleye.
But I
I'll
will
sort it out
ask you
myself.
later to tell me how you sorted it
How you
out.
sorted it out, oh?
We need to
Because
Exactly.
I'm
know.
not playing with you.
Yes. He is very outspoken. He goes to the teacher and tells him
Oh, those children.
their mind.
Those children, I'm
Brenda,
not afraid of those
I've
ones.
never seen.
Oh,
I've
please go
never
ahead.
seen the kind of
That's why my
boldness
mother
they
left
have.
me now. My mother left
Seriously.
me. Say, you, what did you really do?
You know?
When she told me that, I said, no problem. I sorted myself out. I never
Ah,
called her again from GS1 to SS3.
no.
I didn't call her one more time. I said, Mommy, I
Yeah.
got this.
Serious.
So anyway, we have a
So
question in the chat.
okay.
Let's take this question before it rolls too far up. So Keck Wellness Hub says, how about those children who are bullied because of their moral beliefs? This kind of bullying is usually through isolating the child. How do you help this child? Ayo, I think I want you to take this question.
Okay, I
Children that
think
are
I will
bullied
need
for
more
their moral
context. So
beliefs.
when you say moral belief, like for instance, would you say like maybe a Muslim girl who is the only one wearing hijab in school, that kind of thing? Or a Christian girl who would say, because this is what the Bible says, these are the tenets of our faith, I don't indulge in XYZ behavior, that kind of thing. But either way, when you say isolate, who is doing the isolating? So I really need to
Yeah.
understand. Do
I
you
mean,
feel like
other
they're
children,
isolated in
you know
school
how
or
other
other
children used to,
children?
you know how other children would tell me, say, this one is Spiro, so they won't call her into
Oh,
their
Yes.
things that they are
that's
Like
doing.
great.
a click thing,
Mm.
like a click thing. Yeah, they form cliques. You
Okay,
understand?
so what I
Yeah.
would say is speak to your child and let them know that they are not called to fit in the first place. They are called to stand out.
Mm.
So as a Christian, I will speak from the perspective of Christianity because I'm a Christian. I am not of the world, even though I am in the
Okay.
world. So
Yeah.
one of the first things you have to let her know is that she's uncommon, or he or she is uncommon, very different. They
Set
did not
apart.
like Jesus. They will not
Yeah.
like you, and that is okay.
So I tell my
You,
son, you are not
you
jollof rice.
don't need to be like, no,
Everybody
no, no,
cannot
no,
like
no.
you.
Even jollof rice, there are people
There
that
are
don't
people
like
that don't
jollof
like
rice.
it.
How about that?
So,
You cannot be everybody's cup of tea,
Exactly.
right? So,
Exactly.
and guess
Yes.
what? Let me tell you something. I find that when people can trust that you are not faking this thing, you are actually walking the talk, they respect you.
that's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
When it comes to crunch time,
Mm.
they
They
know
know who
who
to
to call.
call.
And
Yay.
I have experienced that for the
Yes.
longest time.
Yes.
Even from the people that are like, oh, your own is too much, yada 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 yada. Let's more
Small problem like this, they know who
the
to call
small
to pray
thing,
for
if
them.
I pray
They'll
for
call
me,
you.
if they
Yes.
don't call you, and it's not
Yeah.
today. They
Yes.
know that this one she will not be among them. So
Yes.
I think the onus is on us as
To
parents
encourage the
to let our
child,
children
affirm the
understand this
children.
thing. You are not the masses.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Jesus did
Mm-mm.
not die
Mm.
for you to become one of them. The
Yeah.
idea is for you to stand out from the
And
back and actually lead them.
be
So
the
they will be following
light
you
Exactly.
behind.
to lead
You are
Exactly. That's what I
there.
said. Yes.
That's it.
Be the light. Be
And
the
they will
light.
come to this your light. So,
Yes. Be
which is
the
one of the
light.
reasons why I also tell my kids that excellence is a prerequisite. Because you can't be representing an
and
excellent God
be
and
doing
your
and be
I'm a
failing.
grades
mediocre. Yes.
and your speech, your appearance, you are misrepresenting him. We don't do that.
This was the
Mm-mm.
We
problem I
cannot.
had with some of those campus pastors, my sister. They would spend all the time in church and they would not be struggling with
They will not be
grades.
flunking.
And I said
Exactly.
to them, I said, no, the God that I serve is an
It's
excellent
an
God. You are
excellent God. Yeah,
misrepresenting my God.
yeah,
I'm sorry I
yeah.
Yes.
cannot be following you. I can't. You
There you go.
Good.
can't preach Christ to
Good.
me if you're not bringing excellence. You're not coming
Correct.
correct.
Correct. You have
In
the
all the things
wisdom
you
of God.
do. Yes.
So if you are spending all your time in church, you better be using spiritual intelligence in that exam.
I'm telling you. Or else, why are you
Have
there?
time to read.
Come on, read.
You better be using spiritual intelligence and word of knowledge to know what is
Yeah.
going
Maybe
to
you
come out
see
beforehand.
Expo of the exact
Do you
questions so you
understand
can be
what
prepared
I'm saying?
or something.
So choose one. Either
Yeah.
you join everybody to go and read, or
Or
you
exactly.
do
What if
You
I'm
Elijah's
trying
understand
to
that the
time.
Holy
represent my
Spirit.
God by
No, no,
coming
no.
last
At all.
after carrying Bible
At
all
Finish.
all.
year? No, no,
Yeah.
no.
No,
We
no,
don't
no,
do
no, no,
that.
no,
You
no,
know what
no.
what we are talking about, the question that you read out for Ayo to
Yeah,
respond.
yeah.
My son had similar issues. He comes back and say, Mommy, I'm not happy. What happened? That there's a particular girl in the class that's always picking up on the boys. You know this boys group, girls group, and all that. Always picking up on the boys, and then she makes it look as if everybody is below her. I'm like, what do you mean?
And
I
some
said, Choo
girls are
choo.
really
Yeah, I'm
nasty.
telling you, the kind of children we are raising nowadays is horrible. Seriously. I now asked, I said, Choo choo. He said, yes, mom. I said, who are you? He said, I'm your Say, no, you're not my son. You are my son, but you're made in the image and likeness of God.
Likeness of God, correct.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So the idea is for you to stand out. I told him, do you know that if they don't want you to be with them, what do I tell you? If they don't give you a seat at the table, go build your own table. Build your own table, make it longer, and see if everybody in that table will not come to that longer table. So that's just it.
Yeah.
You have to do something that proves to the pack that you're a step above them.
That you
So you
carry the
become that
Jesus that
guiding
you are
light.
claiming.
I'm
You
telling
see?
you. So don't feel sad. Let me tell you, you know what you have in you becomes a problem to somebody who cannot be you. So what they do is to try to bring you down to their level. So when you try to come up above them, they tell you, oh, he's this, he's that. Don't let that deter you.
No.
So most of our children, in a bid to fit in,
Yeah.
they lose their essence.
Yeah,
So
They
because
lose
so
their
you
essence.
compromise.
yeah.
Yes,
You
they lose
compromise. You
their essence.
compromise values,
I'm
compromise
telling you,
standards,
compromise
compromise
value
ethics.
standards,
I want
everything
to
that has
put
been taught
I want to
you.
put I on the spot for that statement you said. You know how you said that, the children try to fit in.
Yeah.
I mean, there was something that Ayo's son did that really blew me away. Ayo's son, on his 16th birthday, he made a cake and it was scripture that he put on the cake. I was like, scripture verse. I was like, hey, a boy of, like in a class of boys and girls and they're writing
Yes,
Yeah.
scripture. I want Ayo to tell the story herself because that thing was really, for me, it was the height of a child that knows who he is,
Yeah.
who
was
he is.
confident in who he
Yeah.
was, and it could not even be bullied because many children will bully you for that. Some
Yeah,
children don't even want to agree that they are Christians. They don't want to,
yeah.
let them think I'm too spiro, let them not
Mm,
think I'm too this, so they don't call me for I want to be with the cool girls. Excuse me, you make the cool. You bring the cool in
exactly.
the thing.
Exactly. You bring the cool. You
So
bring the
Honestly.
cool.
tell
And
us
I
about
think it's even
about
easier for them now because Jesus is trending. You know
Ah,
those days, they really trend like that, but Jesus is
it's
trending
trending
now.
now, no. It's
So
trending now.
yeah. So
so
on
tell us
his
how your son did that
birthday,
birthday.
if I remember correctly, I think it was passionately loved by God or something like that. He sure wanted
Oh,
something about that on his cake, and I said, "Why did you want that? Not the typical happy birthday, Maiwa." He said, "Because it will be a conversation starter.
mm,
Everybody is going to be curious about it." And he was celebrating his birthday in his class, and so he said,
Was a
they would
chance to
ask,
preach.
definitely. Say, I know they will ask, and then for him it will be his opportunity to preach, right? And he never passes up an opportunity to talk about Jesus, to be honest.
Amazing.
And we were, well, I can't say I was surprised. I wasn't most surprised, to be honest, but I was actually very proud of him, that, okay, we're doing this. He already knows what he wants to do with his life anyway,
good.
and it did happen. Yeah, it did happen. And talking about not fitting in, he had a couple of friends that I began to ask after, where is this one? Where is this one? And he said, he's working, so he's working on his walk with Christ. And he realized that
They didn't
their
see.
paths were not aligned. So I didn't jump at that, to be honest, because, and I'll tell you why. I didn't jump at it because I work with a lot of disturbed teenagers. So I feel like the more teenagers who are light and can reach out to their peers will do even more than we can. So
Yeah.
I also needed him to understand that now that you have found something, you can't
It's your
now
job to
leave
take
them
it.
behind, right? So, but
Behind, yeah.
he said something. He said, "Mom is the person who is standing that can pull somebody up." He said,
Let my
"So,
guy
Whoa.
stand finish.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah." So I
Whoa.
see that boy,
respected that.
Kate.
I respected that.
Kate,
But
this
I will
boy.
tell you, by the time we
I-
had our swag retreat before, I think it was at the end of
It was
March,
around
right?
Easter. Yeah.
Around Easter, yes. One of those boys, he brought him for that meeting. The boy gave his
for the
life to
retreat.
Christ. It was amazing.
Look at that.
And he said something. The boy said to me, he said, "Auntie, thank God for Maiwa." He said, "Thank God for
Oh,
Maiwa." And he was like, I'm so thankful that he didn't leave me behind. Those were
behind.
his words. And that's what I needed my son to understand. That even when you are walking with God there, walk, but when you have stood,
But
don't forget them. Don't
Yeah.
forget them.
It's a powerful
Let's
one.
not do this thing where we feel
I'm
like
now
we are now
holier
too
than these
we're not
people.
too holy
I'm now
for
Yes.
the
these
rest.
people.
Yes, because it's a call. It's a call, and we cannot afford to not pull people out of the pit. That's literally our job description.
That's the
Do you get what
job.
I'm saying?
That's the
Yeah.
job.
But again, truly, evil communication corrupts good manners. So if you are not really standing true
Exactly.
to
You
that,
have
they
to be
go
very
drag
You
you.
careful.
see?
Yeah.
So I was
I'm
proud of
telling
him for
you.
being that
Self-aware.
self-aware to know that okay, I need to get to a certain point first before I'm now coming to do fish house of men.
Yeah.
My dear,
Exactly.
my dear,
Yeah.
even Jesus did not throw Peter and Co to be fishing. He first of all groomed them for the 3 years. Then he now
Exactly.
sent Holy Spirit. Before I say, yeah,
Exactly.
now enter the world.
It's true.
It's not. Please,
Mhm.
my is wise though. I too love that
It's
word.
Very,
The
yeah,
very,
the
as
day
in
my
very
mind
wise.
blew.
So
The
yeah,
day
that
my
what it
mind blew
means
from
is
this
we need to
child.
teach our
How
children to
to
know themselves.
how to know
Find who
yourself.
yeah,
you are and
yeah,
love yourself
yeah.
unapologetically. If
Correct.
a child knows who he or she is,
Yeah,
it is very difficult for them to be bullied. I mean it.
very true.
That's
And
in
you might say,
fact
oh, they are
Very,
that's a
children.
very
It's
share
true.
a
the
lie.
grace.
Begin to tell them, teach
Yeah,
them, find who you are, love who
yeah,
you are, defend who you are, and stand up for who you are. When
I
that is
love it.
yeah.
done, it
And
becomes
who you
very easy
are
for
in a
them to stand up
nutshell,
for
who
themselves.
you are is Christ. In a nutshell, let's
Who,
just
who
bring
you
it
are
home
is
because
Christ, of
this is
course.
who you are.
You say who you are.
Before somebody will
Is
now
it
go and
in you?
think that
No.
they are goats
Who
trapped
you are in
in
Christ.
woman's body.
The Bible
No,
says
that's
we
not
are
what we're
created
saying.
in the at all. You're created in the
That's not what
image and
we're saying.
likeness of God.
I
At
love it.
all. So
Yeah,
if you want
This is
to
a
live out the
share the
mandate
grace
of being
moment. Like,
fruitful,
do you get?
multiply,
This is a share the grace moment.
I
Like this
promise
is
you.
that's the solution to bullying, knowing who
Yeah,
they are, self-awareness.
yeah,
I had over the weekend, I had a seminar with a few ladies. There's some ladies in the UK, and they invited me to come and speak to them about self-awareness. As I was doing the slides, I was just smiling to myself, like, everybody needs this. Everybody needs this. So as you said it, I was like, spot on.
yeah.
Knowing who you are, loving who you are, accepting who you are, and advertising who you are,
Yes.
then nobody can bully you.
Yeah.
Because going back to the question of the lady who says the child is being bullied because of their spiritual beliefs, they just have to know that this is you. And so,
Yes.
as you said, you are constant. You are constant.
Yeah.
Anything happens, you respond this way.
Yeah.
Anything happens, you respond this way. They know
Yes.
that you are constant. That's who you are. They will take you for who you are.
Oh, they will.
They will.
Oh,
exactly,
they will.
exactly, they
They will
will,
take you for who you
they
are.
will.
They will.
So
Yes,
They will.
because
basically,
if you
then,
if you're neither here nor there, they will know that
that's
is this
when
one
they
they
will
thought
be
about.
like, we don't
See,
need
Yes, but once
everything
they
anybody.
know
takes
that this is,
courage.
yes,
It takes
exactly,
courage to own your identity, right?
yeah,
Because people will want to dissuade you from your past. People will want to make you feel like you don't really know. They will question your identity. That's
Yes,
where I'm going.
yes, they
So,
will.
but when you
hmm
really know who you
hmm
are, when you really know whose you are as well, I
yes,
don't think anybody can successfully paint a
they
different version of
tell
you to
you
you or sell you
exactly,
something else
And
that
exactly,
is
that brings us
not
exactly.
authentically
back
you.
to the work that the parents should be doing. Remember that this live is about what the parents should do, because
Yes,
this is not a children's platform. We don't have children here. It's just the
correct.
parents we're talking to. So it just brings us back to what the parents should do. So as much as we hear, like that's what I just said when she said that, I said this is a shared grace moment. So the job is now on the parents to teach their
Correct.
children who they are.
Correct.
Teach them who they are. When they are being bullied by their classmates, continue to reinforce them. Tell them to escalate. Do not fight back. If you can help it, do not fight back. Stop the abuse. Go and report. Do not be a bystander. Speak up when you have to. Speak up at every
Yes.
point in time. And then somebody's asking about what do you do about parents of kids who are actually the bullies. We started that conversation with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you joined us early enough. We said it that find out. We even have two examples of how children that were bullied now started becoming bullied.
Bullies. Yeah.
Bullies themselves. So we have to first of all check what is going on with your child, because
Yeah.
excuse me, I did not. What my own child bully? How? What happened? So
Yeah.
Oh, from where?
try and
Yes.
unearth what happened. Find out what happened. That's how you can help the child. Because sometimes we are so we always always denying. We live in denial. We
True.
say no, that
I'm
cannot be
telling
me.
you, big time
Even if
Yes,
they
sir.
denial.
call you from school, like
Seriously.
no, that cannot be my child. My child never
Brenda,
did that.
we both went to universities that were rife with cultism. And you know how there were those boys that looked like butter could not melt in
Oh
their
In
mouths.
their mouth.
and their mothers will be, because I knew one, and one of them
Where?
was my, and he used to go to fellowship. The house, what's that house on the Rock Fellowship? Rock Foundation, right? But something happened, and they came to look for him at home. He wasn't at home. They now attacked his younger brother.
Oh Lord.
His father was the one who said, "I know that it is this one that they came to look for. I know what the
Really?
problem
You
is."
see?
But the mother was, "No, mommy, my
In
child." Until
denial.
they found guns inside his boot. See, if you saw that boy, you too, you will not believe that he's a cult member.
I said,
So those things there,
yeah.
they're
In
not the
our
right time for
school,
it.
in our
No.
school, even in architecture, we were normally the ones that were different, right, from the whole school. But the day they caught one boy, complete fine boy, as in complete fine boy, complete body. We did not know until state CID picked this boy. State CID. When they picked this boy, the mother now came to beg the father, because father is a big man. Father said, me, I should go and
Never
do
that.
what? I cannot be a party to that. He will stay there, he will serve his term. Anytime he comes out, he will come out. The
Child,
father did not move. Oh. The boy stayed there
child,
1 full year. We didn't see the boy in school 1 full year.
child.
By the time he came back,
It was
the way he faced his
humble.
books, hey,
He will be
the way he
grateful to have an education.
faced his book and graduated peacefully, like, I've seen him later in life now. You cannot
Very
remember,
calm.
he's not the same person. Completely changed because the
Seriously,
father
that's
allowed
what I was
him.
saying
The father
about,
So we
allowed
can't
him to
about
be in
face
parents
denial.
knowing
consequences.
when to
Yeah.
defend their kids and
Yes.
when to say no.
When to
Do
stay
you
back.
understand? So
Correct.
as parents,
Because that one
someone
was not
posted, it said
bullying. You carry
some
your hand
parents
and
are
went
not
to commit
self-aware.
crime.
I told you how my mom called police for my brother now.
You know?
No, I'm not joking. No. Meanwhile, those things when they used to
So
use
you can't
juju
give what you don't
to
have.
hit
So as parents, we
to hit
have to be
people.
self-aware.
You will now go to the house like a zombie and go and pack all your mother's jewelry.
Yes.
It happened to one of my brothers.
Oh my
And my mother
goodness.
said, "No problem. I'm not arguing with you." Shebi, he said they're not clean with juju. He said, "By the time police touch you,
You will tell the truth.
you will remember where you carried my goat." 3 days. 3 days. She called the police herself.
Oh my
She
God.
said, "Treat him. Yes, do it.
Oh my God.
Do." I couldn't believe it. She did it to my mom.
Mommy of light.
But it come out, I mean, not come out.
I love it.
It come out. So,
Oh,
so
Amaka said so. Her mom called police. I got her brother.
police for brother.
Mommies,
So,
mommies are not smiling, But Kex, you make a good point. Kex wellness is some parents are not even self-aware,
yeah,
and you can't give what
Yeah,
you don't have, which
what you
is
don't
why,
have.
the
you
real
can.
job is on parents actually educating themselves, because
Yes,
Yeah,
the work you've been
absolutely.
entrusted to, God gave you. See, you know that God does not have grandchildren, right? All of us,
We're all
including
his
our
children.
children, are all His children.
We're all
So
his
God has entrusted you
children.
with His precious child, and you say what? You don't know what to do. And you are crossing your arms and saying, well, I don't know what to do. Hello, you will answer to God on the last day. You don't understand. It's part of the things you will go and answer for. So the onus is on you
Very
to
correct.
find the work. Even if you were parented badly and you don't know better, the onus is on you is to reparent yourself, to learn, unlearn, and
Correct.
relearn. We have
Correct.
amazing platforms for things like this. We're teaching
Correct.
every day. Even the Women's Growth Academy, which brings you this life, we teach
Yeah,
ourselves every day. We're grounding ourselves in the word, and every
absolutely.
day getting better so that we can do the work that
There's no
God has done.
excuse.
That's just not.
There's really no excuse. Even for the one who is a good person. You will see that during the
no.
GPS, the Godly Parenting Summit, I said something. As imperative as it is to model good behavior,
You
you
must
cannot
teach
do
it
that
too.
outside of instructing, outside of insisting
Yes.
on participation. Because you see it in the Bible,
Ah,
David, his
that
children were misbehaving up and down.
that example went out.
Aaron, Eli, Eli raised Samuel,
As in,
and yet his sons were
so he
behaving
could
like
raise. So he
vagabonds.
knew what to do to
He
raise.
knew what to do.
But
He instructed
Exactly.
Samuel. But your own sons, you were expecting that somehow it will just rub off. Sometimes it doesn't rub off.
I'm
So
telling
sometimes when
you,
I
someone
hear
said,
some pastors say some things are caught and some things, not everything is taught, I don't belong to that school of
mm-mm.
thought. Everything can be taught.
yes,
Because some people cannot
Exactly.
catch.
Yeah.
Some
and they
people
will not even
Yes.
don't have
catch. Even
capacity
if
to
they can,
catch.
they refuse to.
So you must teach it. You must drill
You
it
must teach it.
into their
You must
I
brain.
teach
must
it.
insist.
No.
You must
You
teach.
must teach it like this. I said, no, some things cannot be caught. Oh,
Yeah.
because let me tell you,
So
before you even cash, you must have been preconditioned to catch it, which is teaching.
Catch it.
That's the truth.
Exactly.
You can't just
Have a
catch from the
template
blue.
for
You
these
don't
things.
be
How do you want to catch
template. You
it? How
cannot
do you
catch
know
it.
what
So
is
it's
good?
that
Yeah, you
template.
can't catch it.
Yes, that template is the teaching. That template is
Yeah,
the teaching. And like I said in the beginning, Brenda, these kids are watching us.
they
Not
are.
just as parents, even the adults around them. And that is the
Correct.
template you are giving them. That's the template you're giving them.
I
Not just as parents,
agree.
even those in your household, your brothers,
Don't
your sisters,
assume.
their aunts, their
Don't
uncles.
assume.
So
Yeah,
it's that template you're giving them that will allow them to even catch when they see it. No
my
person
sister.
will want them go catch them. Seriously, if you don't want them go they fall upon you, no go catch them.
If you don't even
That's the
know
truth.
what Rema is in the first place, or you don't even know to catch it.
That's what I'm saying now. You have to know what Rema is. Then position yourself for you to catch it before you catch it. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, these kids come to us tabla rasa. Brother, you know what I'm talking about? That's a Latin word. They come to us tabla rasa.
An open template.
Plain,
Blank,
no.
blank
So we begin
sheets.
to, yeah, so you begin to imprint in them. That's what I said in
Correct.
the first place. So it's a plain slate. You give them, they go and write.
Correct.
And what they write is at times is not, some cannot be erased though. So tabla rasa, they come to you and every day you hand them a brick.
Absolutely.
Like I said before, they'll go
Yeah, I
they
remember
keep
your
building
knowledge about the
everything.
brick
They
was so
pick,
good.
yes,
Very, very
they go
spot
and
on.
keep building. At the end of the day, they either come up as very correct adults or young men and ladies, or they come out broken. So because they are broken, they want everybody around them to be broken. That's how they are bullies. So a broken child bullies another child. A broken adult bullies another adult.
And then you
We even
begin
see bullying even
to
in the office space.
perpetuate the cycle
Seriously,
of
I'm
abuse
telling you,
and trauma.
bosses. Yeah, I'm telling you, bosses bullying their workers.
Correct.
Someone tells you, my friend, keep quiet. They think they're catching cruise. You don't know how the person processes things emotionally. That's the truth. I was bullied. Some of us have, things that we can talk about bullying. And because we don't have, I don't know how to say it, but because we now know, because we are
Yeah.
informed, you know how to handle it. And then you can tell your child, do this, don't do this.
Yes.
So you have to reparent yourself. You need to go
It's
out
so
and look for
important.
resources.
It's so
Look for where you can
important.
get informed. It's very important. You
See,
can't give what you
this
don't
thing you are
have.
saying, nobody, let me not say nobody, but very few of us grew up in homes where we were equipped with everything that we needed.
Very
Negative.
few.
It's not
Do
done.
you
It's a
understand?
lie. If you say you were.
So
My
Yeah.
you
girl,
see some
head girl
certain
that was
things,
bullied.
for
Amaka,
instance,
your own is a different level. Although yes, the head girl in our set was
you
bullied
see some
too.
certain things, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, I want this for myself.
Yes.
Because how does a
Exactly.
village girl become CEO? She didn't see
Oh.
CEO
Oh.
was not modeled to
Not
her in
model
her
to
father
her.
or her mother's house.
No.
Exactly.
Maybe she saw it on
Or her
TV.
environment.
Maybe she saw
Yes.
it. Yeah. So it's the same thing. If you grew up in chaos and then you come somewhere and you see that there's peace, there's harmony,
Like this
there's
thing
unity,
is
there's calm,
possible.
desire it, and then work towards it.
Action.
Yeah,
There were
exactly.
many
Work
things that
towards
I
it.
saw outside that I desired, and I said, "Do you know what? I'm going to work towards this. I like the way this woman talks. I remember the first time I said I saw that Amanda Ferguson. Let me just out myself here. When I heard that woman talk, I said, this woman, she has never seen Shege in her life. That's why she's talking like this, you know? I went back home and I called Ify and I said, that was jealousy talking. And I am not a jealous individual. No, let me tell you the truth. It's so weird. Like my friends always say, AY, I've never seen that you are jealous or envious of somebody
I
because
remember that.
I
I remember
literally
that.
feel
I
like
remember
I
that
don't
post
have
that
that
day.
bone.
That post triggered me in a way
It
that I couldn't explain.
triggered me because I just thought, whatever this thing this woman has, I
Who
want
did I
it.
offend? Why can't
I
I
want
have it?
it.
She schooled herself. She schooled herself.
She
Like anyway,
did.
she schooled herself.
She did.
Let me tell you the phrase I tell my kids when they get me to that point where I'm so ruffled. You
Yeah.
understand? And I don't want to blow my lead. I tell them there's an extent to which I can teach you. You begin to teach yourself. Like
Yeah.
at that stage, all I'm there to do is to guide. That's the
Correct. You
truth.
become a mentor.
And many
Yeah,
of
that's
us,
it.
seriously, many of us were taught to an extent, and we decided to turn out this way. Brenda, let's be
That's right.
truthful to ourselves.
Yes, sir.
We could have ended up the other
Yes,
way, but because you made
sir.
it a point of personal duty to equip yourself so that you can equip others, Let me tell
My
you,
parents
see,
were not going
now
to
person will
church. Oh.
put
You
bucket
know,
for
anybody that
outside
will
to
see
go
me
fetch
now
water.
would think that I was the person that they used to wake up at 5 a.m. with bell.
Seriously.
No,
Yes. Now
no,
person
they
will
were not
put
going to
bucket
church.
outside go fetch water.
Water,
If rain they fall, you know
simple.
put bucket outside, you know go fetch water.
Yeah.
Remember, they
So
used
you
to
must be
punish you for going to
deliberate.
church, Ayo. They used to punish
Pardon?
you. They used to punish you
Uh-huh.
for
Yes,
going to church.
I chop
Your
slap,
parents did
self slap.
not relate. They thought you were
They
feeling
You
couldn't.
see?
fun.
They couldn't. No, it wasn't that. My mom said, instead of you to actually be following the man now, you are carrying church on your head. Then you will not get married. Then you will not be misbehaving because you did not live life. That was her fear.
Is
She
it
said
like
it. She said it. Yes, she said it. She said because this your youth, you no go club, you no go party every time. Chop, 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 chop. It's people like you will not be dissatisfied in marriage. You will be dissatisfied because you did not see life. I said, which kind of philosophy be this?
oh my days?
I will not be dissatisfied, please.
Oh my days.
You
Because you
know,
don't
so
understand how that I will say there's nothing, this
mm,
thing that you think is life, there's nothing in this thing, and I
there's
don't want any
nothing
part
there.
of it.
Yeah.
I
She
don't want
couldn't
any part
relate.
of it. She couldn't relate.
See, Brenda, AY, it's this is a very wholesome discussion that shouldn't even be for
Correct.
a day, seriously. Because at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to us parents. What are you doing about yourself?
Mm.
What are you doing to make sure you bridge this gap?
Yeah,
But there's a gap. It's already there.
yeah, yeah,
Your kids are safe, the kids around them are not safe.
Yeah.
What are you doing as parents to bridge this gap? So I would encourage Brenda to go find another topic that will address this. Seriously, you have to be intentional and deliberate in your
yeah.
living. Intentionality is what brings you to a place of excellence.
It
And this
takes a
excellence,
village. Let's bring the
Let's
village back.
I'm telling you,
Let's bring the
so it takes a whole
village
we
back.
village, but it
we
also
need the
takes a
village back.
tribe to know a tribe member. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is why you say something, and AY will tell you, don't call my children that, or I'll come for you. Do you understand? No, there's some of us that want to say something on the platform and say, may they not come
We
for
just
me.
know
Oh. Do you
that
understand?
we know that everyone will drag you
When
by your
Brenda
edges.
told me to send her pictures, I said, I don't have edges. She said, don't even say that, sis. Don't even try that. So it takes a tribe to raise a
Good.
child, but you must be able to vibe alone before you find your tribe.
That
If you don't
part.
vibe alone
Yeah,
and find out who you are,
yeah.
you end up in the wrong tribe. That's
Very
the
true.
truth. You
Yeah.
become an
Very true.
appendage. But
Very
if you
true.
vibe alone, find out who you are in Christ and live that life, your tribe will be there waiting for you. You just fit in. You become an important part of an integral whole.
Mm.
And because many of us are missing it, we just want to belong to any group and any, let's just be there and,
Oh.
fill up the
Keep them
number.
Mm.
belle
You
face.
make that mistake. So as parents, it is not about the child bullying. It is what are we doing to make sure this
Yes.
endemic, it's not even pandemic, this endemic ends.
That's it.
You understand? So we
It's
used to
that.
say, break generational causes.
Yeah.
This is something that is happening in our time. We must be able
Yeah.
to be that change, starting from our
And
homes.
love is the
When we
key.
tell
Oh.
our
Even
children,
if your child is a bully, you still owe that
seriously,
child duty of care and
yes,
love. Love is the one thing that will
uh-huh.
heal whatever it is that is broken in that child. And
Hey,
it's not a cliche. It is
I'm
not a
telling you,
cliche.
there were,
Because some
it's
people
not a
in
cliche.
trying
No,
to drive
I
out
was
the
hearing Pastor
bully,
Jerry.
you
I'm
cause more
telling you,
problems.
Pastor Jerry Eze said, you talking to your child, he's not answering, and you're beating yourself. My dear, go and sit down. In the middle of the night, invoke your child spirit. He
Correct.
said, go to the child's
Fixing I
room.
invoke
He said,
spirits.
you're talking to them in the daytime, they are doing nightmare. In the night, that is why you're a parent. Go and stand
Correct.
over them and declare the words over them. He said,
Correct.
you're
Very
not talking to
important.
the child, you're talking to the spirit. It is the spirit that gives life to the body.
Yeah.
He said, go to their room and speak over their spirit. The next morning, their brain go down
Well,
reset. That is
praying.
called, heavenly resetting. Yes. But at
It's
times we leave
important.
things to chance. We leave things to chance. Yes, I see. Everything is about prayer. I'll tell them, have you prayed? Have you prayed? My son will roll his eyes. I said, if you like, roll your eyes from today to tomorrow. That's the only thing I know that will put you in the right
It's
path.
the only
As
Correct.
juju
parents, we
that
cannot pray
my
enough,
mother showed
and
me.
at the
Oh,
same
they
time,
didn't
we
show me
cannot
another
work
juju.
enough. We cannot work enough. We cannot pray enough. This is not the time to slack. Seriously, you slack now,
At all.
you spend the rest of your, I tell them that he
In
who does not
regrets.
look
Very
for
true.
his goat in the daytime would group in the darkness when it's dark. And
It's
may
true.
we never be part of that
You are the
generation.
Amen.
queen of
As
proverbs.
in,
Kate.
I was, it was on the tip of my tongue to say
She's
this
going to give
woman
us proverb after
is a
proverb
Pete
after
Edoche
proverb.
right now. She's giving Pete Edoche right now.
I'm telling you.
Kate,
And see,
Seriously.
coconuts that does not fall from the tree in the afternoon. Auntie.
Like, come on.
No,
And be
seriously.
like,
I love it.
who they raised with grandmother?
God doesn't make mistake.
You always
God
know
doesn't
them.
make mistake. God doesn't make mistakes.
It
So this
doesn't.
is where we fit in.
Doesn't.
This is a vacuum and we need to step in there. And how do we step in there? Christ
Yeah.
said, he commissioned them and said, go out and make disciples of all nations, right? Now our duty is to send our children out there to make disciples of those bullies by the way they live their life. And we can only get that by
Mm.
praying over them, talking to them, and loving them
Yeah.
unconditionally. That is
Correct.
the way we can bridge this gap. And I know
But some
God
of
will
them
give
are
us the wherewithal to do it.
suffering. They are suffering at home. They are distressed at home. They are
I'm telling
unsafe
you,
at
so many
home.
of them don't even
And they
tell us
bring that
what they are going
energy
through.
to
Yes.
school.
I'll tell
Yes.
you a story about what happened to my friend. My friend's daughter, her older daughter, she has two. The older daughter went to school. I think she was in GS1 or GS2, I can't remember. But her first daughter entering secondary school. And then one day a senior now, whether slaps her or something, really great. A senior, my friend, you can imagine, I said she's my friend. She was there the next morning, like, hello, you say? As in, she did not pick the child from school, that it was her husband that picked the child. So they got home before they told her. She just left work, left everything. I just want to go resume in the school. Like, show me that child. I want to see the child. So eventually the teachers were begging her that we are calm down, let them talk. So she went to sit down, listen to the teacher. They brought the girl. The girl was in SS3, so by the time she was breaking and she saw the girl, and I think the Holy Spirit told her to calm down. Yeah? Then ask questions. Tried to ask questions. It turned out that this girl, whether she was from a family, whether one parent had just died or something,
Hi.
she did not have any. She didn't have any care. My friend went to school mother on top of the girl that she came to fight.
Oh,
She's trying to. Before you know what's happening, as in, it was so funny, right? And this is why we are spirit beings. This is why we're Christians.
exactly.
And when you were saying that time that you were
Exactly.
saying, if it's a child to a child, you'll be wondering how to deal. But when it's adult
Yes.
to child, you just know
And
where
that
to
one,
place your
you
anger.
already
It's
know.
not even hard. So, in this one, she came with all her anger. Like, how can you be bullying a little child? Why would you slap a little child? No, that was in JS1. You are in SS3. Like, what was this? But before they left that school, she had become the girl's, guardian, so to speak.
There you
The girl
go.
was sharing things with her and everything. And that was just so beautiful. Anytime she told me the story, like, man, God is just intentional. Like, it
He
took her
is.
to slap somebody for her to find,
And he
the
could
wisdom
trust
to
her
know.
with that. God could trust her with that situation.
You see?
Yeah.
Because she went there with the fire in her head, though. But when she got the prompting, she listened. You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just there's a whole lot of things. So like we said before, the child that is bullying learned it somewhere, or is reacting for something, or is reacting to something, or is just there's a lot going on. So we have to unpack
So much.
all of this from all the different angles. I mean, this is a conversation that if we continue, we'll be
It's
here for the
unending,
next.
because we have not even
Wow.
talked about the schools and their silence and
And
their
their
complicit behavior
complicit behavior
in
in the
in
bullying.
in all these matters.
No,
This conversation will not
it
end.
cannot finish today. So we have
It
to
can't.
prepare for part two, because the school's own
At
is a
this point,
different kettle of
it's a
fish,
different
and
kettle
it
of
has
fish.
to
Yeah.
be discussed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
today we are talking to ourselves as parents.
Mm.
This is what you need to do. This is how we can do better. This is how if your child is the bully, this is what you can do. If your
Please,
child is bullied,
parents, guardians, aunties, uncles, because sometimes if the parents can't act, all you need is one auntie or
one
one
trusted
uncle that
adult
has your
around.
back.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
One trusted adult. So that's why
Yes.
everybody that listens on
Exactly.
this call, don't say
Exactly.
I don't have children yet.
Exactly. I
Please
know
be
when
the eyes and
when my kids
ears.
misbehave, I call my younger brother. Yeah.
Be the
And
one
then
that the
you
children
need to
can
have a
trust.
supportive
Okay.
spouse. See, when my husband tell I for my children, they miss about they shake for one corner. You understand? Yes. When I'm serious, when
We
bros they
always
shake
do.
for my children, and me, I go they pray, God, I beg, hold am. Because that one
Is
doesn't have
is
no room for
is
nonsense.
boys
That's my
now.
husband for you.
Is
As
boys.
the
That's
gentle
why it's
rich,
behaving like
that's so
that.
great visual.
Is
You
boys.
understand? So you need to have a supportive spouse who knows when to step in and when to step back.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
collaboration.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
Brenda
It
said, it
is.
takes a tribe to
It
raise
is.
a child. So make sure you're
It is.
in the midst of the right tribe for the love of God. Please, we need to get
It's
this right.
important.
We need to get this right. It's very important.
Very,
We cannot be
very.
kabashing and doing midnight and praying and fasting, and our kids the essence they need to be generational, leaders, next generation leaders is being taken from them by the devil.
No, it can
It
never be.
Cannot happen.
Not on our
cannot.
watch.
Not
It
on
can
our
So it's
never
watch.
not
be.
like
No,
I
it
just
can
like
never be.
not on our watch.
Not on our
No, it
watch.
Not
can
on
never
our
be.
watch. So
No,
we need to be deliberate. Equip yourself. Go look for sources. Look for places where you can get
See, they're already
values. Add
there.
to what you
You go
have.
and follow GPS.
The
Follow
only person
godly
that stops
parenting
growing is
summit.
you
Yes.
aside.
Follow
Yes,
GPS.
and I know
Follow
God will help us. That
WGA.
will change the
Very
narrative.
important.
I'm very sure
In
of that.
fact,
It
this
just takes
very
it.
this
Yes.
very Saturday, we have a
WGA,
program on the
you need to
Godly
follow
Parenting Summit.
WGA. The one we gave you is the tip of the iceberg. Seriously, it's a tip of the
Yeah.
Absolutely.
iceberg.
Absolutely.
You just need to come and dig your own well, so that when the rain comes, when you don't know where it's going to come from, your wells will be filled up. So that at that dead time, you can draw your waters.
So
Absolutely.
Seriously,
button.
this is not the time. Serious, this is not the time to slack. The the
Yeah.
And
the, the system is not
follow the
slacking.
logic team zone. Actually, if you want like an Instagram platform where your kids can have like peer-to-peer interactions and influences, that's a good place too.
Type it for
That's a
us.
good place.
Type
Logic team zone on Instagram. Good
Logic
stuff
Team
there.
Zone. Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
good stuff. Good
good,
stuff.
So
Good
please,
stuff.
thank you
good.
so much,
So we just
everyone,
put it
for
on the chat. Yeah.
joining today. Thank you for our amazing guests, Ayo, Vincent, Katie,
Thank you for
Nana.
having us.
As in, I've had the time of my
Thank
life.
you.
Like, I have a 7:30 meeting as I'm here like this, but I'm not able to pull myself away from this conversation because
Oh yeah, I'll come and be going.
it's been that interesting. It's
Thank
been
you.
that, that educative.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
ladies. Thank
Thank
Thanks
you
you
for
for
so
having
having
us.
much.
us.
Bye, Katie.
I've learned from both of you. That's the essence of
Same,
coming together.
same.
Iron
That's it.
sharpens iron.
Iron
Iron
always
sharpens
sharpens iron.
iron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So this
yeah.
program was brought to you by
Thank you.
WGA, the Women's Growth Academy. We have our Similar Lives every Tuesday by 6 p.m. WAT. We also are a community of women, godly women who just love God and are growing in the awareness of who we are in Christ. You can join us by clicking the link in my bio. You can be our guests same time next week. Please follow my guests, Ayo Vincent and Katie's Corner for Growth.
At Iron Vincent
I'll
Music,
Vincent
please.
Music and
Thank
then
you.
Katie's Corner for Growth. Please follow them
Thank you
to
very
learn
much.
more about their intelligent ways. I mean, see them speaking now. I was just like, come on, see my chest is like this. Like, these are my people. But so follow them, and join us in the group if you wish. And see you next Tuesday, same time, 6
Bye
p.m.
bye. God bless
Thank
you.
you very much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.